Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Maximum Manifestation, Hidden Laws of Attraction, Forgotten Secrets for Manifesting Success, Health, Wealth, and Happiness. For the next, 2 hours, 3.5 hours, 3 hours or so, I'm going to be guiding you through some of the most important aspects of manifestation. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I'm going to go through my basic, my usual administravia, I think is what they call it nowadays. So just by a show of, that's me in the chat. How many folks here are veterans of Planet David? They've been around for a while. They've been to events. They've used some of our materials, things of that nature. Go ahead and type that's me in the chat. How long you've been in Planet David, where you're checking in from. Of course, we want your name, of course. For those of you out in YouTube land, we love you too. So type in if you're a veteran of Planet David, if you've been around for a while, or if this is your first time. I love to figure out who my new people are, who my veterans are, because I put everybody to work. One of the things I love about the workshops that we do is that they are very, very high participation. Means that if you actually do the processes and you play along with us, you're going to have some amazing experiences, and those experiences are going to change you and give you some proof that you can take out into the world and start manifesting or persuading and influencing or just generating the life that you want the way that you want it. I'm very proud of the solutions that have come out of the people and the explorations in Planet David. And to that effect, as we explore this idea of manifestation and law of attraction and reprogramming your subconscious mind, I want to be very, very clear about some things that I may say that might fly in the face of what some of you have been led to believe about things like the law of attraction and vibration and things like that. One of the things you hear a lot in the world of manifestation is this idea that you have to believe in something for it to work. That's true enough to be true, but there are some things that are not belief dependent. They are vibration dependent and they are mechanics dependent. So one of the things that we've really kind of put an emphasis on in Planet David over the years is how do we eliminate the need to believe? In other words, when can I distill a technique or a set of techniques down to just a simple process? If you, whether you believe it'll work or not, as long as you're not actively resisting or fighting against it, where you don't have to believe it's possible, you just have to want it. And you just and want it enough to do the process. Is there a way for us to make it almost mechanical, purely a set of mechanics? And I've been very, very happy to discover that there are a lot of things that and principles working below the surface with your autonomic nervous system that actually allow that to happen. And of course, you can't really leave the law of attraction without talking about beliefs and understanding how beliefs work. Unfortunately, most people don't really have a functional understanding of how beliefs are created, how they work, what the components of them are, much less how to use those components to change them. They take a very often long, arduous way to do that. And we're gonna kind of pull back the curtain on some of this tonight. Obviously, you know, if this is the scope of everything that there is to work on in hidden laws of attraction and the whole idea of manifestation, even in a 3-hour webinar, you know, we have time for this much. So my job as we go through these processes and we talk about these different principles and ideas and concepts together is to take you as far as I can, give you some pure, true, verifiable, tangible experiences that you can take out into the world and start putting to work right away. And then I'm going to show you, as we go through the foundations and the fundamentals, how to get access to the entire system that we're pulling these gold nuggets from, so you can take your manifestation and self-empowerment journey in whatever direction you want, whether it's professional, whether it's social, whether it's academic, right? The idea behind manifestation is to bring into your reality the things that you truly want. We're going to talk a little bit about this idea of bringing things into your reality as opposed to manifesting them. So a couple other things before I get into the official presentation today. First and foremost, if politically incorrect language, colorful metaphors, swearing, or the word boobies offends you, this is not the best, probably not the best use of the next 2.5 to 3 hours. My intention here is never to offend anyone, but Many times, in order for us to make the insights or lead to get to the experiences or the things that are holding us back, we need a little provocation. We need to understand this idea of polarization towards or away from in any way is an indication of something within us that needs to be explored and reprocessed. That's in the old systems, we call that alchemy. And alchemy and manifestation go hand in hand, as does healing. Healing is a form of manifestation and transformation. So many of the things that you're going to be exposed to tonight, the principles, the tactics, things of that nature, are universal. They will apply to any form of deliberate manifestation, healing, and transformation that you want, because they're based on the way your nervous system functions and communicates within itself, but also with the way it interacts with the quantum reality or the spiritual vibrational universe. So that being said, our webinars are divided into 3 basic parts. First part is fundamentals and foundations. These are the things that, regardless of what your background is, where you're coming from, if you're going to spend time with Planet David and really absorb the techniques that we're going to show you, these are the things you absolutely have to have, right? And they're very powerful, and we try to make them as experiential for you as possible. Circling back real quick and closing the loop on beliefs, it is not necessary for you to believe a single thing that I am going to share with you over the next 2.5 to 3 hours. All that's necessary is that you have the right state, the right attitude, and a sincere desire to roll up your sleeves, do the drills, and experience the skills as they unfold for you. I'm the kind of instructor who believes very, very much in a participatory or interactive environment. So I'm going to be asking you to do things. I'm going to be talking to you. I'm going to be asking you questions. Why? Because it's your webinar. You know, a lot of teachers like to say, well, I don't play favorites. I absolutely do play favorites. My favorites are the people who get off their butts and show up, the people who take the time out of their busy schedule to sit down and actually engage fully in the processes. I love my virtual audience, 3,000. I love my live attendees, 10,000. Why? Because they got off their butts and showed up. So I'm going to plant that seed for later, right? You want to make sure you have a couple of things to really internalize what we're going to be doing tonight. So the first and foremost is you need something to write on. And I would prefer it's something you actually can write on as opposed to something you type on, right? Why? Because writing activates the kinesthetic cortex of your brain in a way that typing doesn't, okay? Having something to write on as well as with is good. You want to have as many caffeinated or neurocognitively stimulating substances around you as possible. We prefer caffeine and chocolate because the oxytocin and the stimulation amplifies your brain activity. The oxytocin allows you to experience greater levels of neuroplasticity, which means you take in the information and you hold on to it faster. There's an old saying that neurons that fire together wire together. And substances like oxytocin and other like dopamines which are found in I don't think it's dopamine that's found in chocolate. There's other substances found in chocolate, actually accelerate that neuroplastic phenomena. And so one of the things that we always did in our meetups out here in San Diego was we would give people lots and lots of chocolate with a sugar-free option for those who were diabetic or had other types of blood sugar issues, but also lots of caffeine. And it wasn't just to keep them awake. It was because priming and pumping the body with lots and lots of oxytocin stimulates your neuroplasticity and allows people to install the information faster. So those are just some things that I want you to, if you don't have them, when would now be a good time to do that? That being said, let's go ahead and start with the official presentation. For those of you who are brand new, my name is Dr. David Snyder, and I actually have 2 doctorates. I am a practicing acupuncturist and master trainer in neurolinguistic programming. For the last 6, 7, 8 years, I've been the number 2, and I've been named one of the number 2 NLP trainers in the world by globalgurus.org. Some of the techniques you're going to be learning tonight are from my program called Identity by Design and Hidden Laws of Attraction, as well as Killer Influence. And Killer Influence was named the number 1 NLP training program in the world for the last 4 years. So I'm very, very happy that people are getting so much benefit from what we do. And like I said before, you don't got to believe anything that I'm going to share with you tonight. All that's really necessary is that you do the drills and get the skills, decide for yourself after you've had the experience if it's something that's useful for you. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and jump to my PowerPoint really quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the PowerPoint if I can help it, because I'm a firm believer in avoiding death by PowerPoint, but I will be jumping back and forth between my OneNote and my PowerPoint, as well as just face-to-face with you, because I love you. And I want you guys to get the most out of this workshop as humanly possible. So that being said, how many of you are brand new to the idea of manifestation and law of attraction, right? And if you're not, if you're a veteran, if you've been studying these types of topics for a long time, type how long you've been studying manifestation, vibration, law of attraction, things of that nature. Just go ahead and type that in the chat. YouTubers, you got about a 60-second delay between what I say in the Zoom chat shows up on your feed, but the chat function in your book is in real time. So Nancy's been studying about 10 years. Azif is brand new, excellent. Sabrina is at about 3 years, perfect. Okay, so you can notice I'm already starting by asking you questions, right? And the reason that I do that is because a lot of us got our first introduction to manifestation with a movie or a book that came out many, many years ago called The Secret. And in that book, we were introduced to this concept. Marilyn's got 5 years in. We were introduced to the idea of law of attraction, which basically says that what you bring about, you think about, or what you think about, you bring about. And basically the idea behind unpacking that is you will pull into your life the situations, circumstances, and events that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. And everybody's like, oh, great, I'll just put up a vision board and magic will happen. Well, how many of you have put up a vision board and you're still waiting for that shit to happen? Anybody? Beanie says, Nancy says, oh yeah, right? So wait a minute, if all I have to do is a vision board and give myself affirmations, why is my stuff not magically appearing? It's because they left a few things out of this idea of manifestation. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a big believer. I am a great manifester, right? And I say that for very deliberate reasons, okay? Which we're going to talk about. How many of you understand the concept or principle of luck? Anybody? Brad says, I've been sharing spinning with people for a few years now. Excellent. Spinning is actually one of the most powerful manifestation and transformation tools ever downloaded to me. In fact, it's kind of what put us on the map beyond some of the other more carnal things that we did. So Liam says, me, I am stupid lucky. I like Liam. Liam's going to be on my team. Sabrina says we make our own luck. That's true enough to be true. Okay. And I'm going to do something here that I haven't taught in a long time. I'm going to teach you how to be lucky, but I'm going to do it on a bunch of different levels. Now, manifestation is not luck, just so you understand that. Manifestation is not luck. Luck has a different connotation to it, where there's a randomness to it, that just good things happen, or things always work out the way that are in your best interests, right? That is a little bit different than what we call deliberate or intentional manifestation, right? We have techniques for both. In fact, we're working on a whole new level to our hidden laws of attraction and identity by design systems, where you become the embodiment of just pure positive luck. It's really cool. It's been really cool testing it so far. But I want to make some distinctions for you between what I call linear manifestation, nonlinear manifestation, and probability manipulation, right? So one of the things that we want to talk about is this idea of you will pull into your life the situations, circumstances, and events that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. Yeah, about that. Here's the thing. Most people don't realize that you have two sets of thoughts. You have thoughts you're conscious of, thoughts you're aware of, thoughts you know about. But you also have thoughts that you don't know about. You have thoughts and belief systems and barriers to manifestation, for lack of a better word, that you are unconscious of. And until you can get in touch with the part of your neurology, the other than conscious mind, the unconscious mind, that is in charge of those things, those other than conscious blocks, traumas, limiting beliefs, barriers that you are not aware of, will continue to taint and block your ability to manifest. Now, I want to be very, very clear. A lot of us know we have shitty beliefs. We know that. How many of you have can think of at least 2 or 3 limiting beliefs that they know of? Yes or yes? Type in the chat for me. Right? Okay. But here's the problem. There are beliefs that you don't know you have. There are beliefs that operate behind beliefs that are behind other beliefs. So the problem with what we want to do and to be a maximum manifester is we have to, yes, Rich says I'm riddled with them. What we have to do is we have to find them. Now, how do we do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. The first thing is knowing what we want. I see that again. Knowing what we want and how we know that we're getting it. Okay? It sounds really simple. It sounds really basic. But I'm not talking about knowing what we want so we know what to shoot for. I'm talking about knowing what we want so we can provoke the things that are in our way of manifesting. Right? We're going to do some exercises very, very shortly to teach you how that works. One of the first things I teach all of my students, and whether you're a first timer on our webinar, whether you've been around for 7, 8, 3, 10, 7, whatever long it is, I consider you all my students and by extension family. And so one of the first things that I teach all of my students is that my first job as your teacher is to teach you how to become progressively more aware. Because, write this down, without awareness, there is no choice. I'll repeat that 2 more times in case you're taking, so if you're taking notes, you can really get it. Without awareness, there is no choice. Okay? Now, we have limiting beliefs, we have fears, we have reasons for why we're not getting the things we want. And we can distill these impediments to transformation and manifestation down to some simple things. So first and foremost, why can I even talk to you about this? First and foremost, I am one of the world's leading authorities on how to reprogram the subconscious mind. I've been engaged in all forms of metaphysics and manifestation since since I was a teenager. Right? Let me just, let me just do this really quick, just so we can officially get on the road with what I lovingly call the Dr. David Dog and Pony Show. For those of you who are first timers, who the heck is Dr. David Snyder and why should I care? Well, first and foremost, I am an actual doctor of Chinese acupuncture and Oriental medicine. This is a copy of my diploma from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. I've been a licensed and practicing acupuncturist since 2005. I recently completed my doctorate in Chinese energetic medicine, which is a second doctorate, which is all on shamanics and medical Qigong that was taught in China before they started shutting down all of the Qigong hospitals out there. This is a copy of, like I was talking about earlier with Global Gurus, this is a copy of our letter from Global Gurus stating it was a great pleasure to announce that your training program, Killer Influence, has been chosen by global peers and ranked the #1 best program in the world for NLP. This is an older one. I have one from 2023, and I think I'm getting one from 2024. You can see that, and this is a copy of the letter that we got. And if you click that link, you'll go here, and you'll see that the program is ranked one of the #1 NLP training programs of the year. Now, why am I talking about Killer Influence if this is a class on manifestation? Well, the reason for that is there's 2 things that all manifestation is reliant on. One of which we're going to cover it. We're going to cover it later in the webinar, but I'll say it here: is state control, the ability to enter or exit or link any vibrational emotional state at will on demand. And there's no program in the world that teaches you to do this faster and better than Killer Influence. The entire first day and a half of the 5-day training is devoted to nothing but learning how to go in and out of any state you want, link it to anything you want on demand, and how to transfer those states to other people so that they go into similar states and you gain rapport super quick. And that's their bait. That's more advanced than most people get in master level trainings. That's where we start. But I want you to understand that there's a lot that goes in, and Killer Influence tends to be the entry point to a lot of our tech, right? I'm also a lifelong martial artist. I have a 10th degree black belt in Ryukyu Kempo Karate, a 4th degree black belt in Shaolin Kun Tao, 2nd degree black belt in Kosho Kempo Ryu, 1st degree black belt in Fankuru Jiu Jitsu. I also have a brown belt in small circle Jiu Jitsu. I have a certified instructor in combat sistema, Cinco Mano Eskrima, and of course, modern Ernese. And I like to make a little joke. I have more energy healing credentials than McDonald's sells hamburgers. I've been a Reiki master and teacher since the early 90s. I've been studying Kabbalah almost as long, since before Madonna ever heard of Kabbalah. So I'm very much a prima donna. I'm trained in advanced pranic healing, pranic psychotherapy, and their manifestation techniques known as Kriya Shakti. I'm trained in advanced DNA theta healing and manifestation. I'm a practitioner of the Bankston energy healing system, which by interesting happenstance taught me one of the most powerful manifestation techniques on the planet. And like I said, I've recently completed a doctorate of medical Qigong. I'll be completing my studies in Buddhist mysticism in February. And then I'll be going on to complete studies in Taoism and as well as Christian mysticism, 2 forms of Christian mysticism. So I've been around a while. I've been doing this a long time. I've offered over 15 different products on various forms of human influence. So again, just going back, what do all these things really have in common? 2 things, like I said: state control, which is the ability to enter and exit any vibrational state at will. We're going to talk about this idea of vibration and emotion, because this is another one of those places where a lot of confusion can actually short circuit our manifestation systems. The other part of this is pattern recognition. How many of you, by show of that's me in the chat, have ever dated the same person with a different face multiple times, or created the same problem in different businesses over and over and over again, right? No matter where you go, no matter what you do, the same patterns keep showing up, the same things, types of people, right? It's because there are patterns operating below the threshold of conscious awareness that you are not able to access. The sad part about alchemy and transformation is that until we've suffered enough, until we've reached a crossroads in our consciousness, the very things that we use to manifest are the same things that keep us stuck. And that's something I want you to understand. Each and every one of you is a powerful, masterful manifester. You're just manifesting fucked up shit, right? And it's because nobody really taught you in a way that you can verify for yourself how the system works. So that's my job tonight, is I'm going to give you as much as I can where you can start making changes right away. And then I'm going to point you in the direction of where to go to level it up and keep going with that transformation and manifestation vector. Is that a fair trade to go as far as we can in the time that we have? And then I point you in the direction of where to go, and we just keep building on that. Is that okay? All right, perfect. All right. So when we talk about state control and pattern recognition, this is absolutely what everything is going to distill down to in one form or another. Okay. So what does that have to do with success, health, wealth, and happiness? Pretty much everything, right? All right. So listen, guys, there are no accidents. The question is, are you in the right place? So I'm going to jump out of the PowerPoint in just a minute, but let me ask you a question. How many of you here, by a show of hands, are ready to take the randomness out of your manifestation work? How many of you are ready to engage in what I like to call the process of linear, intentional manifestation? How many of you are ready to do that? Right, by a show of hands, right? Okay, cool. How many of you are ready to remove the blocks to your success, to get over limiting beliefs, to attract love, health, wealth, success, happiness, more opportunities into your life without adding more to your everyday workload? Wouldn't it be okay? Would it be better to just do the same amount of work and get a progressively higher and higher level of return on your investment? Okay, there's some principles and some ideas that are not going to make me popular when I present them to you, but these are the things that I've discovered over a very, very long career. As you can see from my curriculum, I've manifested a lot of stuff. In fact, my very first doctorate was an impossible task. The second one was almost as impossible, which I'll talk, we might talk about that later in part 3 of the webinar. So while we're on that idea, I divide my webinars. Let me jump out of this really quick. How many of you are ready to take your life to the next level and become the best versions of yourself? Right, okay. So let's talk about how we're structured tonight's webinar. Tonight's webinar, we're going to talk about fundamentals first. We're going to talk about next steps. We put together a set of programs and a package for you that's going to make it super easy to get access to everything you're going to need to know. And part 3 is the customization phase. And this is where we're going to take you as a group and we're going to drill down on a specific topic and give you the exact tools you need to be able to achieve that outcome. Does that sound like a plan? So part 1, foundations and fundamentals. 2 is next steps and leveling up. 3 is customization and application. Are we good there? This means yes, this means no. Or as T. Harv Eker would say, yes or yes, right? All right, perfect. So if by becoming the best version of yourself, that might include being super attractive to the opposite sex, type that. If you want to banish fear and insecurity from your life, make more money from your job, or build that dream business, or write that book that you've been thinking about writing, type that's for me in the chat. If you like to protect yourself from being manipulated or handle difficult people, or just remove those difficult people from your life and pull people into your life that facilitate and build you up and support who you want to be, right? Type that's for me in the chat, right? If you'd like to be able to just move through the world manifesting the things you want without actually having to work any harder than you're already working, go ahead and type that in the class. If you'd like to take your spiritual and understanding of yourself and your true mission and purpose in this life as far as you can, and have that experience in every aspect of your life, go ahead and type that in the chat, because that's what's on the agenda. We're going to start the process here. You know, they say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That's actually wrong. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the idea and the intention, the idea of a journey and the intention of a single step. But even that starts with the idea of a destination, right? So everything starts in the mind, but let's be very, very clear. You cannot completely divorce the need for physicality, for grounding in this dimensional vibrational reality, actions that move you in the direction of what you're seeking to manifest. So there are 2 things that we're going to talk about right up front that are going to be important for you to really wrap your head around to manifest the life you want. So I'm going to teach you in this webinar. If you stay until the end, you're going to learn the fastest, most powerful and direct way to reprogram your mind and magnetize yourself for unlimited success, health, wealth, and happiness. I promise you, I will give you access and I'll show you the real hidden laws of attraction. I'll show you more than just the laws that you've read about in The Secret. How to change your vibration to match what you want to attract. How to remove blocks to your manifestation success. How to get rid of negative emotions, fear, pain, limiting beliefs. Stuff you didn't even realize that you know that you had. At the end of the day, we're going to work through a path together to go from interesting information to maximum manifestation in minimum time. So let's start with the 2 most important factors for manifesting anything that you want. Those factors can be summed up in 2 words: identity and action. Right? I'm going to say it 3 times so you can write it down. Identity and action. Okay? Identity. Let's talk about identity. How many of you were here at the beginning of the webinar when I said, how many people here are familiar with this concept of luck? Right? How many of you, the moment I asked about being familiar with luck, just typed into the chat, I'm a lucky person? How many did that? I know at least one of you did that. Right? But yeah, that was Liam, right? And what did I say? I want him on my team. Why? Because that is the first characteristic of lucky people. The first characteristic of lucky people is they self-identify as being lucky. So if I said, who's familiar with luck? And the first thing that popped into your head was, oh shit, or my luck sucks, guess what? We have some work to do, right? And this is what we call identity work. The first and most important thing that you have to, and how many people are familiar with a gentleman by the name of John Assaraf? Anybody? Most of you probably, if you've watched The Secret or read the books, you've heard about Mr. Assaraf. I was in a mastermind with him many, many years ago with Lisa Sasevich, and fascinating guy. But one of the things that Mr. Assaraf was saying was, you can't out-earn your level of self-esteem. What does that mean? It means that if you have an identity that says you don't deserve something, or that something is impossible for you, then it's very, very difficult to go beyond that. Now, that is true unless you have certain tools and techniques. Some of those techniques are to change that, which we'll talk about. Another part of that also is your belief in something higher than yourself. Okay, we're going to talk about one of the most important factors in identity today, and that's your belief system. Okay, one of the things I love about the discipline of neuro-linguistic programming, which is as much art as it is science, right? And now with the cutting edge research in neuroscience, it's more science than anything else. But how you deploy it and how you use it is where it takes on the idea of an art, right? So here's the first thing we need to understand. What is NLP? How many people are not familiar with the concept of neuro-linguistic programming? How many people are not familiar with neuro-linguistic programming? Maybe that's a better concept to ask. Come on, this is the interactive portion of the class. I hear, but how do I change that? Absolutely, that there is a higher intelligence and have heard all about NLP. Okay, so one of the reasons that we, as practitioners of manifestation, want to understand NLP is because let's think about this for a moment, okay? What is manifestation? Who can give me a succinct definition of what is manifestation? Joseph says, NLP is where I found you. Yeah, a lot of people did. But you know, I was a world-class hypnotist long before I got named the number one NLP guru in the world, right? And I really believe that if you really want to get good, I mean, really good at manifesting, you need hypnosis and you need NLP, okay? And then the energy kind of takes care of itself. Okay, so Brad says, I believe in my dead grandma's ghost. Okay, Kelly says, bringing into existence what was once a belief. Ooh, okay. Bringing the non-physical into the physical realm. Okay, okay. Blute saying to bring into reality what you desire. Urugo says, whatever your vibration is, you attract. Okay. And VF says, Ben, I know Richard Bannon. Okay, great. Simon says, to be the change you want to see. Okay, we're getting a little poetic here. And I'm not trying to be poetic, and I'm not trying to be tricky with you. But I want you guys to look at some of the words that you used. Okay. Bringing into existence what was once a belief. Okay, there's that word belief. So you might want to write that down. Bringing non-physical things into the physical realm. Non-physical. When your vibration matches your desire. So we have vibration and desire. Manifestation is the process of bringing our wants and desires into something. Steph says, make shit happen. All right, perfect. Now, what do all those things have in common? Well, think about it for a moment. NLP, that if you ask Dr. Bandler what his definition of NLP is many, many years ago, he would look at you and say, NLP is the study of the structure of subjective human experience. I'm going to say that 2 more times so we can understand why NLP is important for us. It's the study of the structure of subjective human experience. Now, most people know of NLP as a way to influence and communicate and conversationally hypnotize people, and that's true. But there's another level that most people kind of don't really invest in. NLP is the study of how your nervous system creates everything. Anything that you can become aware of. Your nervous system has a way to translate vibrational information into something that you can work with. NLP is the study of that. So if manifestation is the study of bringing things that we want to believe or bringing things that we desire, well, isn't belief a subjective experience? Isn't desire a subjective experience? So the more we understand how that works, the faster we can cut through the bullshit and get to what we want. So you're going to learn some very powerful, you're not going to be taught NLP today. You're going to be taught a series of techniques that are built from neurolinguistic processes interacting with vibrational and physics and metaphysical, quantum physical principles. Because your nervous system, better than any other mechanism on the planet, is uniquely designed to interact with the quantum universe. We're going to show you how that works. You don't need to understand 90% of what I'm talking about for this to work for you. All you have to do is follow the mechanical steps. So let's talk about, we're going to talk about the hidden laws of mental dynamics, the laws that govern your nervous system, and how to interconnect your mind and body to get maximum manifestation and transformation in minimum time. We're going to do that through experiences. We're going to start clearing shit right off the bat. But the first thing we need to understand is this concept of identity. And the second one, which is the second characteristic of lucky people. Okay. The first one is identity. You have to have an identity that supports who you are. All right. And so the first thing that people think about is limiting beliefs. And yes, there's that, but there's also fears, traumas, values. These are also aspects of your belief system, and also based on traumas and safety rules that your nervous system has applied to your history. We're going to show you how all that comes together and how it's all written from the same universal language. And once you understand how to write and speak in that language, you can make any change you want practically for any reason that you want. Okay. The second big principle that you have to accept, and I'm going to give you my functional approach to it. You're not going to like it, and I'm sorry, but this is how it has to be if you want to step into your power. It is the second characteristic all lucky people have in common, and that is proactive action taking. All lucky people who have a disproportionate level of spontaneous good things happening. We all know these people, right? Like they could be walking down the street, they step in a big pile of poop, right? They go to clean the poop off their shoe and they find a gold coin in it, right? Or, you know, one of my colleagues, Scott Sandlin, who is actually very famous as a hypnotist, but he's more famous in the world of AI, right? He is one of the luckiest mofos I have ever met, right? If there were a plane passing overhead carrying 1,000 pounds of gold bars and the cargo bay door accidentally opened and the gold fell out, it would fall in Scott Sandlin's back seat. The crate holding the gold would fall on mine. No, I'm teasing, right? But we all know people that no matter what crap seems to hit them, they always come out better off. Is there a way to maximize and amplify that? The answer is yes. There's a bunch of ways to do it. Okay. First one is going to be creating for yourself an identity that has as one of its core components, you're a lucky person. Now it sounds really simple, and it is. It is simple. It's not always easy. Right? To get to that point, there's practices that we have to intentionally engage in. Now, a lot of them can be very quick. Some of them take repetition. Are you willing to do that? How many of you are willing to do whatever it takes to be more fortunate, lucky, and have a disproportionate number of serendipitous events? Okay, perfect. Because, you know, back in the day, one of the first courses that I was ever given access to I was taught a tool called the Teachability Matrix. So what you do is you number it from 0 to 10 and then 0 to 10. And the vertical axis is your desire. And the horizontal axis is your willingness to do whatever it takes. And where those two metrics meet is how likely you are to be successful, how likely you are to take on information. So if you want, on a piece of paper, write down your teachability index. From 0 to 10 is your desire. From 0 to 10 on the horizontal plane is what you're willing to do to get it. Plot those 2 points, 0 to 10, draw a line and notice where they connect. That's how much more likely you are to get what you want. Okay. If you're not at least an 8 or above, we got some work to do. You haven't really tapped into the things you really, really want, right? One of my manifestation teachers told me that in order to manifest effectively, you have to want something more than you're afraid to have it. I'm going to say that 3 times. In order to manifest something effectively, you have to want something more than you're afraid to have it. Okay. Now, how do we do that? How can we amplify our desire for something? Well, you know what? There's a way to do that too. How cool is that? Right? There's a way to do all of these things, right? But you have to be willing to take those first steps. Okay. But things get in our way. If it were just that easy, everybody would go and do it, right? But we have all these things that get in the way. So the 2 most important ingredients that a person has to have in order to manifest the things they want is an identity that supports it. One of my other teachers, a very wise lady who had an even wiser mother, told me that you can be or do or have anything you want in this life, but first you must become the person for whom that thing can manifest for or happen to, right? So let's talk about that in terms of this idea of action. There's 2 ways that people avoid taking action. They don't want to, or they don't want to. The question is, why? Why don't they want to? Well, it's really simple. Either they're afraid to, or they don't know how to. That's it. They're afraid to, or they don't know how to. So that in Planet David speak, we talk about the 2 limiters to taking action are what we call mindset issues and skill set issues. So what are mindset issues? Limiting beliefs, fears, traumas, past history, right? And how do you diagnose that? Well, first and foremost, if there's something you want, right? And you know every single step you need to take to get from point A to point Z, but you're not doing it, mindset issue. If you have all of this energy and all of this drive and you're just ready to get to like a hurdler in the blocks, right? But you're just kind of spinning your wheels because you don't know where to point that gun, where to point that energy, it's a skill set issue. Now, more often than not, the things that hold us back or limit us are combinations, right? And so we're going to tackle limiting beliefs. We're going to talk about subjective experience. We're going to talk about all the barriers in the other than conscious mind that hold us back from success. Now, if that's where we're going tonight, why am I talking about skill set issues? Because many times what we think is a mindset issue is a skill set issue. There's something we don't know how to do, so we don't do it. Now, sometimes we know what it is we don't know, and we just don't know where to find the answer. And sometimes we don't know what we don't know, right? How many people have been in a situation where a person's teaching, you're introduced to a brand new subject, the person says, any questions? And you have no idea, you don't know enough about the subject to ask a good question. Ever have that happen? It's like, I don't know what to ask, right? There's this fountain of information in front of you, and you don't know where to start. That can happen, right? So let's talk about these mindset issues. When we talk about mindset, when we talk about identity, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about belief systems for sure. We're talking about fear. We're talking about traumas. We're talking about fantasies, daydreams, any form of subjective experience that pertains to the identity level is going to be handled in the techniques that can be handled in the processes that I'm going to share with you. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump into some of our concepts of identity and things of that nature. And we're going to talk about ways that you can start taking control of your state, start identifying the beliefs you know about and the beliefs you don't. And that's really the big piece. The law of attraction tells us that you will bring in to your life the situations, circumstances, people, and events that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. The problem is they didn't really tell you what your dominant thoughts actually are. We all believe that our dominant thoughts are the ones we're conscious of. You know, for example, if I say, when you think about that voice in your head, you're like, it's the voice that just said what voice? Those are your dominant thoughts. They're the thoughts that you're aware of. Okay. But there's a layer and a layer and a layer below that. And there are thoughts and programs running below the surface of your conscious mind that are inhibiting and limiting your success and are, in fact, modulating those thoughts that you're conscious of. You have to remember something, that every thought and memory that you can become aware of first has to pass through every level of your nervous system before you can become conscious of it. There is absolutely nothing in your reality that is real. What? 2 books I want you to read. First one is called How Emotions Are Made by Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett. Book number 2, same author, Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett. 7.5 lessons about the brain. Everything your brain is doing, everything your neurology is doing is a hologram. It's an illusion. It's a prediction of what it thinks is supposed to happen. It's an interpretation of vibrational data or primary experience passing through the prism of your nervous system and being expressed around you like a big movie. Right? As my teacher, Sifu Jerry Allen Johnson, we say, you're awake in a dream. Once you become aware of that, you're awake in the dream. Another way we talk about it is seeing the Matrix. Think of Neo when he became aware he was in the fucking Matrix, right? You are literally living that metaphor. Now, just like Neo, though, you have the ability to influence the Matrix. You have the ability to do that. And it starts with, who are you and what are your beliefs, right? The first thing we want to do is we want to start to discover, we want to start to uncover and unpack the beliefs we know about and the beliefs we don't. And to do that, we're going to do an exercise. Would that be okay? How many of you, by a show of that's me in the chat, can feel good for no friggin' reason? Joseph, that was Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett. How many of you can feel good for no reason? Nancy says yes, yes, yes. All right. So for those of you who are veterans of Planet David, this is a basic drill. How many of you have ever heard of a lady named Dr. Amy Cuddy? Power poses? Okay. Dr. Cuddy did the science on it. We've been doing much more advanced things for decades, but she did the science. So I would recommend you watch her power posing video. Dr. Amy Cuddy, power poses. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to link the different divisions of your nervous system. So I want, for those of you who are driving or who may be listening to this next piece while operating machinery, driving, anything where you've got to be in control of everything going on around you, do not do this. Do not do this. Okay? Why? Because we're going to alter your state. We're going to put you in a trance. Now, you're never not in trance. That's the big secret. The question is the trance you're in getting you what you want or moving you away from what you want? Human beings are the most powerful trance machines on the planet. That's how you manifest, by going into trance, by shifting and modulating your consciousness. But what does that? What's the secret sauce that allows us to shift consciousness? I'm going to break it down, as we say in some of the audiobook series that I'm going through now. I'm going to break it down Barney style for you. There's 2 elements that you need to tap into your ability to manifest and using your consciousness. A, you need to be in control of the body feelings that you're generating, and you need to be in control of the meanings you assign to what you perceive. So I'm going to say that again. You need the consciousness functionally in Planet David is a combination of the events that we perceive and the meanings we assign to them, working in conjunction with the body feelings that we have. When your body feelings shift, a part of your neurology called the reticular activating system changes its priorities of what's important in the space around you. Okay? How many people here have ever been in an argument with somebody? Yes or yes, right? Okay. How many people have ever noticed that, you go through that arguing process, right? I said, you said, I said, you said, and all of a sudden, we're arguing back and forth for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And we finally resolve the argument. with that person, right? And then for whatever reason, anything you say pisses them off again, right? Welcome to the wonderful world of what Dr. Paul Ekman calls the emotional refractory period, otherwise known as the effect of the reticular activating system. You see, your perceptions are dramatically influenced by your body feelings. We say that twice more. Your perceptions, in other words, your consciousness is directly affected by the body feelings you're holding on to, conscious or otherwise. Now notice that that phrase is really important. The consciousness that you're working from is affected by the body feelings you have, conscious or otherwise. So how many of you know what the percentage of have ever taken a big bucket of water and tried to carry it across the room? Or a Dixie cup full of water and tried to carry it across the room? How'd that work out? How many of you noticed the water is sloppily, Callie says, right? So here's the thing. The human body is at least 70% water, right? In spite of the fact that a lot of that is in your cellular matrix, it's still a fluid system. Why don't you slosh when you walk? The answer is you do. You do. The difference is that there's a division of your nervous system called the interoceptive nervous system that filters that information out. When you read Dr. Feldman's books, you will be introduced to this interoceptive aspect of the autonomic nervous system. It is the part of you that manages and modulates all the internal sensations that are going on in your body and keeps them from coming into conscious awareness unless they're extremely provocative. Okay. Now, why am I saying that? Because when we start talking about manifestation and we start talking about vibration, we start talking about getting in harmony with certain vibrational fields that create certain events, the functional way that you change your vibration, and by extension consciousness, is by changing your body feelings. If you can change the vibrational signature, the sum total of the body feelings that you're inhabiting, then the vibrational message that you extend out into the quantum universe changes. The problem is that there are sensations we know about and sensations we don't. Just like there are beliefs that we know about and beliefs that we don't. And it's natural for us to focus on what we're aware of. It's just intuitive, right? But you have to understand that everything you're conscious of is the tip of a very large iceberg. So part of our first job is helping you to figure out, where are the things I don't know about? How do I find those? And the reason the way that you do this is by provoking them. By provoking them. How do you provoke them? You focus on the things you really, really want, and you start to pay attention to what happens in your body differently. Okay, so we're going to do a really quick technique. So I want everybody to stand up. Okay, and again, if you're driving and you want to participate, then what you need to do is you need to pull that vehicle off to the side of the road, put the car in park, put on the emergency brake, turn off the ignition, make sure you won't be disturbed, carjacked, whatever. Make sure it's safe wherever you're at to do this, but do not operate any form of machinery or heavy equipment or anything that requires your full and undivided attention to do this exercise. Hit the replay when it becomes available. We'll be here, right? So here's what we're going to do. I want you guys to think of something that gives you the most amazing pleasure ever. Not that one. No, I'm teasing. I don't care what it is. I'm not the pleasure police. I want you to think of something that brings you tremendous, tremendous joy, right? If you can't think of joy, think of the biggest orgasm you've ever had, or the most ecstatic spiritual experience I don't care. I'm not the pleasure police, all right? But I want you to make it juicy. Now, inevitably what happens when I do an exercise like this with the group is I say, think of the most pleasurable thing imaginable, and you go, ah! Because you're on the spot. Whatever pops up first, just go with that, okay? I'm going to give you something really, really quick. I'll revisit it again in part 3 of tonight's webinar so that you can learn it a little bit deeper. We're going to talk about 6 dynamics of an unconscious response. First and foremost, so other than conscious mind, that other part of you always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud. It's never linear. Take it to the bank. 2 more times with feeling. Always answers first. Always answers honestly. Always feels like you're making it up. Always has an urge to edit what just came up. Never loud. Never linear. Always answers first. Always answers honestly. Always feels like you're making it up. Never loud. Never linear. Whenever you do any kind of altered state work where you're going to dialogue with the other parts of you, you need to apply those parameters. Because if you do, you can trust the information that you get. If you start trying to analyze, judge, think about what's happening, you're going to spin off into all these little thoughts and tributaries and get on this hamster wheel of cognition that is not going to get you the most linear path to what you need. Okay? Now, that being said, I want you to take a piece of paper out, write down the 3 most pleasurable things you've ever experienced. Just take a moment, write them down, and when you've done that, write done in the chat. Linus is actually laughing at my sloshing around jokes. Right? This is the participatory part of the process, right? Just write them down. Trust me, if I put you in trance and ask you guys to go back to the scene, situation, or event that is the source of being the most joyful thing, you're going to go someplace different. That's not the issue right now. Right now, we work with what we've got. We always work with what we've got until we get something better. All right. Now, as you look at the 3 most pleasurable experiences of your life, I want you to remember them. I want you to relive them. Chris Richardson says, oh boy, 2x rated for the chat. Don't put it in the chat. Put it on the paper. Seriously, I'm not asking you to post it in the chat. I want it to be the juiciest, most amazing, I want to do that again right now experience ever. Okay? Okay. This is the most, aside from knowing exactly what it is you want to manifest and how you're getting it, this portion right here is one of the most powerful and important pieces that most people are missing from their manifestation practice. We call it state control. Okay? State control is the ability to enter or exit any emotional state on demand at will in any order or sequence. It's truly Jedi, right? It's baby stuff. I mean, from my perspective, it's baby stuff. For you guys, it's going to be life-changing, right? So, what does it mean if nothing comes to mind when you try to think of those best childhood memories? I didn't ask for childhood memories. First of all, I asked for the most pleasurable experience you can recall today, right? At the risk of being provocative, if the best experience you had today was taking a really big dump and feeling that satisfaction of a bowel movement well done, fucking write that down, guys or gals. I don't care. As long as it brings you pleasure. Okay? If you had a chocolate covered cherry today and it was the most amazing thing ever, do that. Right? I'm not the pleasure police. I don't care what it was. It's not the event that's important. It's not the event that was important. It's the body feeling it generated. Why? Write this down. The body feelings that you hold on to, that you experience, are a direct measurement of the vibrational frequency you're emitting to the universe. Let me say that 2 more times. The body feelings that you embody, or the somatics, the kinesthetics that you embody, are a direct measurement of the vibrational frequency you're sending out to the universe. This is why on our little signs that you see all the time when you come to our events, if you can point to where you feel it, you can change it, right? The reason for that is all body feelings are grounded in the physical form. And because once I find that, I now know where to find the resource that I need to change. All body feelings are subjective experiences. What does that mean? It means we can use NLP to manipulate those feelings and transform them from one thing to another thing. Now, we go beyond just basic NLP with this. We go into somatics, we go into holographic memory resolution, we go into Qigong, all forms of Neigong and energetics. There's all kinds of principles that we're weaving together to create this manifestation machine. But the first and most important thing that you need to understand is vibration, or body feeling equals frequency. Let me say that again. Body feeling equals frequency. Body feelings equal frequency. How many of you have ever heard of something called affirmations? Yes or yes? Okay, so Joseph says she has sciatica. Would you like to get rid of those things? We'll show you. Okay, because pain, headaches, stomach aches, nausea, they're all subjective experiences. They can be changed. How? You use vibration to change vibration. In other words, you use feelings to change feelings. Is it really that simple? Yeah. That's what's crazy, right? All these different studies like consciousness and somatics and trauma resolution and hypnosis, all of it can be distilled down to one basic axiom from Planet David. Everything human beings do, everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. It's either a feeling they want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. Now, the classic traditionally trained neurolinguistic programs will say, oh, nay, nay. Oh, nay, nay, David. Some people are visuals and auditories and kinesthetics and olfactories and gustatories. Yeah, so what? Here's the bottom line. The body does nothing. The body does nothing until it has a feeling. Or to use NLP speak, you have kinesthetic internal, kinesthetic external. What does that mean? First, we feel something, then we do something. That's it. We feel something, we do something. Now, how do we get to those body feelings? Well, sometimes it's a visual. Sometimes it's an auditory. Sometimes it's a smell. Sometimes it's a taste, but it's going to be a visual sequence and then a feeling, and then we're going to take an action. Or it's going to be an auditory sequence, and then it results in a body feeling, and we're going to take an action. I'm oversimplifying it a little bit, but when we talk about things like convincer strategies, which is a program or a pattern that every nervous system runs, part of that nervous system is how many times something has to be repeated, and the sequence of visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory parts of your brain it has to light up. But all of those end with a feeling, a kinesthetic. You feel it, you do it, boom. So if everything we do begins and ends with a feeling, why not start there? And if feeling is equal to frequency, then if we can change our body feelings, several things begin to happen. A, the body feelings change our vibration. The body feelings change how we perceive the world around us, which means they're shifting our consciousness. So we become magnetized to perceive the things in our environment, which is consciousness, that are in alignment with what our nervous system has decided is a priority. Fastest way to change another person's behaviors, thought processes, is to change their body feelings. Fastest way to change another person's body feelings is to change yours first. If you want to manifest, guess what you have to do? You want to manifest better, guess what you have to do? You got to change the way you feel. You got to change the state. You got to change the consciousness. How do we do that? Posture and breathing. Posture and breathing. But we're going to do something called transderivational loading, right? So how many of you, I'm going to assume that all of you took the time to write down 3 pleasurable things, yes? Yes? Okay, now here's what I want you to do. I call this your Steven Spielberg moment. I want you to look at that first thing on your list, and I want you to make a movie. I want you to make it big as a drive-in movie theater screen, crystal clear like an IMAX. Turn up the sounds, the smells, the tastes, the best event ever. When it's perfect in every way. I want you to watch that movie. Not once, not twice, I want you to watch it over and over and over again. Not once, not twice, hundreds and thousands of times at the speed of thought. With each thought, I want you to make those feelings 10 times stronger, 100 times more powerful, 1,000 times more thrilling, fulfilling, and satisfying than ever before, until it overwrites and replaces everything you've ever experienced before. And then it just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger still. And I want you to notice something. As you're noticing what I'm about to say, under no circumstances try to type anything in the chat. Do what I'm telling you now. As you notice that energy, as you watch that movie over and over and over again, I want you to notice something, that there's a place in your body where those amazing feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, notice where you feel it, and point to it. First impression, point to it, boom. Look at it with your inner eyes and notice that there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. What color or colors would that be for you, first impression? What? Don't type it in the chat, just know what it is. And now what I want you to do is I want you to take that movie you've been watching, I want you to step into it, and I want you to live it first person, like a video game, over and over and over again, from beginning to middle to end, and wind it and do it again, over and over again, boom, boom, boom. Notice how you do, as you do that, with each repetition, that energy doubles in size and strength, doubles in force and magnitude, grows to fill your entire being from the top of your head to the tips of your toes and all points in between. And then it just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger until it becomes so strong, so powerful. It begins to radiate from your body like the rays of the sun, forming a beautiful colored frame around that reality that you're creating and manifesting. When you're ready to own it, to embody it, to personify it completely, I want you to physically reach out with both of your hands, lift that frame up over your head with the reality inside of it, expand it to fill the infinite universe, pass it through your entire being, head to toe, mind, body, soul, energy, over and over and over again, until every part of your being is vibrating in perfect harmony with this new reality that you're creating. Just keep passing it through. Now, you may notice as you do this process, physically do it, guys, physically do it, right? As you go through this process, you may notice some people break out into sweat, some people laugh, some people yawn, some people cry, some people twitch, some people just feel tingly and warm all over. Some people feel electricity surging. However your body does it, that's just your whole neurology resetting itself. Just the vibrational and holographic detox. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just keep doing it. And when you know it's done, it's locked in, impossible to go back the way it was, test it. Try to turn it off, try to make it go away, and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, stop testing. Let the process just settle in. So it's your new consciousness, your new reality, and type what you experienced in the chat. Nancy says, I'm giggling. Betty Ann says, power! Serena says, loved fully. Teared up and yawned. Perfect. Yawning is a great sign. It means you're clearing shit. Nancy says, can't feel bad. How about that? Now, this is not a technique I teach generally to the public in the sense of as a manifestation tool. Kelly says peaceful. Julie says chills. Simon says watching at 1.5 speed. Sean says tingling. Perfect. Exact exhilaration in every fiber of my being. All right. That's good. Yorogo says, I feel secure and sexy. Excellent. These are all great things. Betty says electric, right? Now, think about what just happened and how long it took. D. Deeper says, my entire body vibrated in a steady beat. Yes, you've just performed alchemy. You've just leveled up your vibration. You've leveled up your consciousness, and you did it by connecting all the different parts of your autonomic, proprioceptive, and cognitive conscious mind, central nervous systems, linking all three of your energy bodies, and you did it in a way that every part of you understands. You tapped into the synergy and the magic that is inherently what you are. Malin says it felt so real. It was real. It was as real as this table. Jorgen says calmness and clarity. Boom. Right? Now, some people might say, well, so what? Well, let's think about that for a moment. How many people understand? You hear a hissing? Perfect, Betty Ann. If you're hearing hissing in your ears, there's three types of vibration that I was taught to listen for. One sounds like the sound of cicadas, like 1,000 cicadas. That's the sound of your physical body. Then there's one called that's more like a vroom, vroom, vroom. That's your energy body. And then there's one called the like war drums, which is a deeper whoa. It's like an ohm kind of a thing. That's your spirit body. So what happens is when you start integrating and harmonizing all these different levels, right? Everything starts to sync. One of the reasons that you don't manifest the things you want is because one part of your system is sending out one frequency, another part is vibrating at a different frequency, a third part is vibrating at another frequency, and they're disharmonic to each other. They're not aligned, right? But each and every one of those vibrational layers has its own signature, and it has its own set of effects that go with it. When you do a process like this, it literally forces all of you to become into alignment with a similar harmonic. So what you're imagining is changing your body feelings, which is changing your energy, which is changing your spirit. And the spirit, it works from the spirit down and on the physical body up and out to the spirit. So the energy is synchronizing both ways. Right? I could spend 4 or 5 days just teaching you what's all the things that are going on in that one technique, and you'll learn about those in where we're going next if you take advantage of it. But I wanted you to have the experience because this is what you do before you begin to manifest anything. Let me say that 2 more times. This is what you do before you begin the process of manifesting anything. Why? How many of you, I asked a question earlier, how many of you have ever heard of something called affirmations? Joseph says it took longer, but I got there. Yeah. Simon says, I felt the infinite universe. You sure did, right? How many people here, and again, be honest, how many people here usually wait until they're in a shitty mood to start doing affirmations so they can feel better? How many have ever noticed that the time they do the affirmations is when they're feeling crappy? Mirko says vibrating orgasmic sensation along the entire spine, particularly tense on the back of both knees, tingling. Perfect. Excellent. Well done. My headache is almost gone. That's good. Betty says, not anymore. Do it daily. Perfect. You stumbled onto the key reason why most people don't get what they manifest. You see, what most people do is they decide what they want and they spend the vast majority of their time with their affirmations trying to get out of the crappy state they're in. So 80-90% of the work that you're doing is just to change your state. So let me ask you a very simple physics question. Do lower vibrational states dominate higher vibrational states, or do higher vibrational states tend to pull in and train lower vibrational states? It's not a trick question, just answer. The higher ones rule, right? Higher ones rule lower. So what's a better state? Boredom or orgasm? Sadness or joy? Playfulness and pleasure or pain and suffering? Now, it's obvious, right? But here's the thing. If we're trying to manifest in a state of want and neediness and pity and all that crap, we have to overcome that vibrational signature just so we can be in harmony with the things we want. So we need to exert state control first. We need to become the thing we're seeking to attract. If I want more joy and abundance, I need to feel grateful for the joy and abundance that I have. I need to be able to generate a grateful state or an abundant state. How do we do that? You find memories of when you had it and you write them down and you relive them over and over and over again. That activates a whole sequence of neurological transformations and brain regions that change your state and prime you from the inside out. Now, when you begin to do your imaginative exercise, now you're lining up your physical body, your energy body, your spirit body, and you're sending out into the universe a frequency that's going to pull in similar experiences, similar people, similar situations and perceptions. Okay? When you grab that energy and you take it out and now you start manipulating it, you are literally telling your nervous system, make this into this. And then when you pass it through, you're sending more information and giving your nervous system even deeper instructions, but you're not just giving it to your physical nervous system. You're giving it to your energy body and your spirit body, ultimately to the soul. And that everything aligns. That's why a lot of you were tingly, you were breaking out in a sweat, because you were playing with the electromagnetic fields and all the other cellular fields that those interact with to change your vibrational signature. Okay? It didn't take long, did it? Because here's the best part. You've got the list, right? True or not true? Did that list disappear at the end of this exercise? The answer should be no. Because if it did, I'm coming to your seminar. Which means anytime you need to, all you got to do is whip out your list and do that process. I promise you, life will get better. Okay, why? Because you're different now. See, people who don't really understand manifestation, they go around trying to change everything outside of themselves, when the real magic comes when you change yourself. When you change your consciousness and you change your frequency. And assuming you have the skill sets necessary to manifest the thing you want, you'll find the path. Does that make sense? Okay. Has this been helpful? Eurogo says, is there a good reason to do this at night before bed? Yes and no. You can do a variation of this before you go to bed, but unless you want to be supercharged and hyper, you might want to do a different manifestation. You might want to remember times in your life when you had the best sleep ever and pass that through you so you're primed and ready to go into that state. Remember, when you're doing this exercise, it's important to understand, where are you going to be applying this, right? If I need to go into a very intense negotiation, what positive state can I go into that's going to give me the biggest advantage in that context, right? My belief, Eurogo, is if you did what we just did before you went to bed, you might have a little bit of trouble falling asleep, or might have very interesting dreams, right? But if you did something like times you were ready to go to bed and you had the best sleep ever, and you passed that through your body, right? Then you're gonna be able to use it for sleep. Now, you can do variations of this as you're falling asleep, and that takes advantage of naturally occurring trance states that your brain will continue to practice and focus on throughout the night. All right. You guys want more? Yes or yes? Type it in the chat. All right. So I promised you I would give you some experiences. I would take you as far as I can down this rabbit hole in the time that we have. And I've barely scratched the surface, but I think you've had an experience now. I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you how to get access to our complete system, the program and training we put together. And if you're ready to take that next level, remember, there's two things you got to do. You got to have an identity that supports it, which means in your mind, heart, and soul, you're ready for it. And two, you've got to be willing to take the actions. You've got to be willing to do the things necessary to become the person who deserves to have that. And that is always going to come down to how you take action. So that being said, with your permission, I'd like to share with you a set of programs really that I put together called the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultra Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course. Now, the program, the technique I just shared with you is just a very small part of the overall manifestation and transformation systems that you're going to be learning in this program. And it's all about unleashing your full power and your full potential. It's about manifesting wealth, how to align with the vibrations of abundance to attract the wealth and prosperity into your life, how to attract opportunities and use the power of luck to pull people, places, and events that lead to success in life, love, and in your professional life. It's about building powerful, fulfilling relationships that where if you're tired of dating the same person with a different face, this is what you want to understand. This is what you want to learn about. Okay, we're going to deepen the bonds with aligned, uplifting individuals, people who support and see you for who you are and appreciate you, as opposed to judging you and making you feel less than or other because they don't see you the way you want them to see you. We're going to teach you how to inspire change in yourself and everyone around you. One of the things that's really, really important that I want to really emphasize to all of you is, all right, I'm going to be very upfront. One of the most traumatizing triggering classes I ever took was a class on manifestation. Why? Because in order to be somebody who can manifest the change, you've got to get rid of crap. Okay, we're going to cover that in part 3 of tonight's webinar. We're going to show you how to find the beliefs you know about and the beliefs you don't and what to do about them. But this is one of the important things. You need to surround yourself with people who are like you, people who support you, who have the same values and beliefs, who affirm the person you truly are aspiring to be, right? And that's one of the most challenging parts of walking a spiritual journey or walking the path of manifestation, is that to get the things you want, many times you have to give up the old versions of yourself. And people around you who got used to the old you, they're not going to like it. Okay, if you want to radiate more confidence, command attention effortlessly in any situation, and have that head-turning kind of effect on people, you might want to pay attention to everything I'm about to share with you. If you're ready to break barriers to your inner power and become more unstoppable, and ultimately become more magnetic to draw the success and the people who give you the life you want, the way you want, and manifest irresistible energy, I want you to keep paying attention to everything that we're about to talk about. Now, this offer is good tonight, January 16th, 2025, until 11:59 p.m. And here's what we got. First of all, we're going to talk about the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course. This is a program that will teach you how to systematically integrate the different levels of your neurology, psychology, mind, body, soul, and energy to tap into the power of your subconscious and other than conscious mind to quickly manifest just about anything you desire. Using the techniques and the concepts in this program, I have manifested things that are patently impossible by most people's standards based on the context and the situation. I have literally warped the laws of physics with witnesses. And many of my students have done the same thing. I'm not special. It's the process, it's the mechanics, it's understanding you don't got to believe, you just got to do, right? I'm going to teach you how to become ultra magnetic to money in abundance, how to influence people both in the same room and remotely, how to find and remove the hidden negativity that's blocking your manifestation, that's keeping you stuck, that's keeping you seeing yourself in that same old limited version of yourself that society and education and well-meaning family members, as well as all the narcissistic a-holes in the world, programmed into you without your knowledge, without your consent. We're going to show you how to find it, get rid of it, and level up everything about your life. We're going to teach you how to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away. If you ever had an issue that you thought you dealt with it, and all of a sudden you're out in the field and something random happened and that shit comes back, we're going to teach you in a very clear, simple, step-by-step manner how to make sure that shit doesn't come back. Okay? We're going to teach you a powerful new yin-formation method. This is our particular neuro-linguistically empowered approach to creating affirmations that your nervous system must actually act on. It goes beyond just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Your structure your thoughts have a structure. Your brain has ways that it creates and gives you access to certain things and ways that it blocks access to things. One of the things you're going to learn about in this program is this concept of values and this concept of cause and effect, and complex equivalence. These are phenomena in your nervous system that decide what you can access and what you can't. So for example, if I were to say something like, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better, okay? That's a classic time-tested affirmation. Takes forever to start feeling an effect. But if you change the structure of those words, you do them in a slightly different sequence and add one word or one phrase, your nervous system bypasses its blocks to getting it, opens up access to resources, and starts generating a reason for why you can have it instead of pushing up all the reasons why you can't. It's just a simple change in the wording that you use for your affirmations that unlocks massive amounts of transformation and possibility and energy, right? If you like the process we just did a few minutes ago, take that, add this to it, and you have a whole that's greater than the sum of the parts. It just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger, okay? We're gonna teach you how to delete the negativity and vibrational imprints from your past, things that are in your spirit body, things that are in your energy body, things that are locked at the different levels of your conscious mind. And we're going to show you how to transform those things, drain the energy from them, and actually turn them into something you want instead. Okay. Every negative thing that you're carrying around has a charge to it. That charge, the vibration of it, can be stepped up, it can be stepped down. And you can take energy locked in negative events, negative imprints, extract that energy and funnel it into something positive and amplify the good things in your life. Think for a moment, what would happen if that pleasure you just experienced a few moments ago got 10x or doubled? Some people can't 10x them, but they can double it. What would that be like? We can show you how to do that. We can show you how to take that energy, put it into a manifestation process, and use it as fuel. Okay, we can install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people. I gave you the first two at the beginning of the webinar: identity and action. This is something that creates pretty much all the others. Right now, there are people out there who take action and who have an identity that supports things that are not lucky. They just work really hard. Being lucky means you don't have to necessarily work hard, right? You can manifest anything if you're willing to work hard enough. And I'm not downplaying that. You should be willing to work hard enough. In fact, the willingness to work hard is one of the key principles in pulling your manifestations into reality. But what's interesting is the more willing you are to work hard when it's necessary, many times the less often you need to. It's a very interesting paradox. But when it comes to manifestation, it's often how it starts, okay? We're going to give you the most powerful transformation engine I have discovered for linear intentional manifestation. This is called image cycling. It's something I learned, was inspired by the work of Dr. Bill Bankston. And as far as I'm concerned, it was when I learned it, and it still continues to be one of the most powerful engines of personal transformation and manifestation I have ever discovered. It has become an integral part of many of my more advanced energetic manifestation and even mystical practices. Okay, in fact, what I've discovered as I've gone through these various other classical ancient trainings is I've seen variations of this image cycling process keeps popping up. So the ancients knew about this principle, they just didn't teach it, at least not to the general public. And there's so much more. There's a whole lot behind this particular program. Total value on this is $1,997, but I've decided to give you the biggest bang for your buck that I can, because I want to make your 20. Remember, New Year's is about new beginnings. It's about new transformations. It's about becoming the person you desire to be in the fastest, most powerful way possible. And so I want to make sure that this is the most comprehensive program that it can be. So I've taken the liberty of adding a few free bonuses that are going to take this information and just accelerate all of your progress and make things even more easier, more well-rounded, to cover any situation that comes up. So if you act right now and you click the links that show up shortly, you're going to receive some very special some very special bonuses. We're going to start with one of the most powerful energy trainings I've ever released to the public. This is Vibrational Influence United Kingdom Special Edition. Normally, our Vibrational Influence classes are 3 days long, and we teach remote viewing and we teach remote influence. And we teach all the different 5 Hermetic principles. And a few years back, I went to England, and because I was going to England, I decided I wasn't going to travel to England for just 3 days. So I decided to kind of open up my little bag of special David ideas and tricks and techniques. And I taught 2 full days of extra information. Okay. I also taught how to unlock the secret powers of your neurology. I taught a system called the Kuji In and Kuji Kiri, which is if you've ever watched those old ninja movies and or Dragon Ball Z, and you see them putting their fingers together and saying mantras and mudras and things like that. Well, that's actually real. And there's a whole system of metaphysics and manifestation, protection, and healing connected to those hand symbols. And I spent the last 30 years of my life reverse engineering, refining, and honing that. And in this course, I actually taught most of that system. So when it's part of the system, you're going to get the entire Kuji In process based on my understanding at the time. You're going to get the color breathing process, the image cycling process, where you can literally change the texture, frequency, and vibration of fluids. You'll learn about sound work. I think in this one, I teach actually how to project sounds to make people stronger or weaker. Learn how to manifest that. You'll gain control of your own mind and body in ways you've only read about or seen in fiction books. You'll unlock your unlimited potential in more ways than one, in a way that you can progressively measure what you're doing. You can calibrate and create phenomena on the spot. You're going to psychically and energetically protect yourself under any situation or circumstances. You're going to learn about how to heal yourself and others. We actually gave Reiki attunements during this. In fact, I think it was this course, there was a guy sitting in the audience, and I just summoned a cord of Reiki energy, and I brought it down through his crown, and he just started twitching and vibrating in the chair. It was really he was very sensitive. But we'll teach you how to clear chakras and master your own energy fields. We'll teach you how to clear other people's chakras and energy fields, how to measure their chakras, spin, rotation, whole 9 yards, and how to exponentially increase your psychic skills, and much, much more. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this course still has it. One of my students out in the UK was one of the leading teachers of dowsing, and I had her teach a special breakout session. So for those of you who are interested in dowsing and using tools like that, scrying, things of that nature, she taught a little breakout during this class on scrying. So you'll learn how to do that. I did not teach that segment, but I think it's in here. So it's 2 full days of extra bonus material. It's $2,497 value, but we're going to give this to you absolutely free because we want you to have the full spectrum. Seth says it's in there, right? It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you free because we want you to see the matrix. Okay. Hidden Laws of Attraction is all about the techniques of manifestation, but manifestation takes many, many forms. And I want to give you a broad buffet, if you will, of different things that you can explore, that you can measure and put into action right away. Okay. A lot of it is going to be alchemical in nature, and that you're going to have to clear up your shit. Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about in part 3 of the webinars. We're going to show you some ways to start really cleaning up the system and really fine tuning it, right? Total value, if you combine this bonus with the $1997 for Hidden Laws, is $4,494 value, but we're not done yet. There's actually more things that I want to give you as a byproduct of this training, right? The other thing, oops, sorry. I have this, my mouse has a hair trigger. Act right now, click the link when it becomes available, and you're also going to get vibrational healing. Now, this is a variation of our Hermetic skills training that focuses almost exclusively on energetic, vibrational, and remote healing. This takes the trainings from my pranic healing system, from the Bankston energy system, from my Reiki training, from Huna, from the Kabbalah, and it teaches you the medical Qigong models, things of that nature. And it teaches you what I call the full model of all energy healing disciplines. All energy healing disciplines can fall into one of 4 or 5 basic categories. You have what I call the channeling model, which is where you're basically tapping into God and allowing that energy to work through you and guide you. You have the surgical model, which is more like pranic healing, where you're taking energy from one place, moving to another, but you're doing it much more intentionally, much like a surgeon does. And you have the Qigong model, which I lovingly call the Duracell model, where you're building this massive charge of energy in your 3 bodies and then using that for healing. Each and every Kabbalistic healing is where you're bringing it right from source right into the person. DNA theta healing is where you're literally taking the person's spirit, bringing it up to divine, requesting and intending a healing, and watching God physically do the healing. So there's different approaches to energy healing. They all result in healing, but some of them are better at certain types of issues than others. When we look at like the Bankston model of energy healing, Bankston's system works amazingly well on cancers. It works amazingly well on any form of inflammation-based issues, right? But it doesn't stop there by any stretch of the imagination. But you see the full spectrum of all these different energy healing practices, and you learn how to do them so that when you're working with somebody, you have the right tool for the right job. Remember, there's an old saying, for somebody who only has a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, unfortunately, it's not. It's true enough to be true. All of these systems have worked in different areas, but some work better than others. And you'll, by understanding that full spectrum of energetics, you'll be able to make a better choice as to what to use. Okay, so you're going to learn how to use this to find and remove energetic blocks to health, wealth, happiness, and success that you didn't even know you had. How to become a master of energy healing and manifestation. How to heal people remotely. We'll show you 4 or 5 different ways to do remote healing on people. How to find and remove the hidden negativity and energy blockages that your clients didn't know they had, right? Powerful new energy control methods for programming your mind and energy bodies to empower you for healing and manifestation, get maximum results in minimum time. How to remove the negativity from your past, the stuff, and actually move that energy into your positive memories so that when you look back on the past, you remember it in ways that only make your life better. Discover the most powerful engines of personal transformation that I've ever come across, and I've tested a lot of them. We're going to give this to you because, again, a lot of you are healers. A lot of you see clients and want to heal yourself. And then ultimately, you want to take that and use it to make the world a better place. This is the path for you. Okay. Vibrational healing will unlock your true healing abilities faster than you ever thought possible. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you free. Why? Because we want you to change the world starting with yourself. It's really that simple, right? You guys do me no good failing. So I'm going to do everything I can to load the deck and stack the deck in your favor to give you every possible advantage that I can. Total combined value on this, if you were to do the math, which I know Seth is probably eagerly doing the math as we speak, is $6,991 if you would want to buy them individually, which some of these you can, some of them you can't. We're also going to include, to make sure that you have the skills to transform your identity, to move energy from where it is to where you need it to be, we're going to give you this very powerful program called Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Course. This is a program that is designed purely to teach you how to do integrative NLP, energetic hypnosis on yourself, by yourself, for yourself. It's going to teach you how to systematically reprogram your subconscious mind at will, how to remove blocks and limiting beliefs, the ones you know about and ones you don't. It's going to teach you how to find and remove the hidden negativity that's holding you back and remove the reasons why your nervous system won't let go of it. If you have something that goes away and keeps coming back, that is going to teach you how to systematically get rid of it once and for all. We're going to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, change that crappy voice inside your head to one that becomes your own personal coach, motivator, confidant, support system, right? And in case you're wondering what I mean when I say that crappy voice in your head, it's that voice inside your head that just said what voice, right? We're going to teach you to resolve negativity from your past, transfer that energy into your positive memories so that all your good memories get stronger and all your bad memories or less than positive memories dissolve completely or get completely weak and impotent so that they can never affect you again. And then finally, one of the coolest things is once you understand the 5 characteristics or 6 characteristics of lucky people, you can use this program to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people so that you can embody those skills, that you can embody those traits. You can see the world through the eyes of a naturally lucky person. And if you stack the energetic and spiritual practices that we're going to teach you in these programs, that luck factor, that probability field that you develop around you is going to get exponentially, consistently larger and larger and larger. Okay? It's a $2,497 value. And we're going to give this to you 100% free when you click that link and grab your Secrets of Orgasm. Secrets of Orgasm. I was talking about one of my other programs, Hidden Laws of Attraction, Ultra Manifestation Home Study Course Super Package. Okay. Total combined value on this is $9,488. Okay. Fourth bonus, and this is where people say, oh shit, he's got more. Yeah, because a lot of you are looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right. True or not true? You're tired of dating the same person with a different face. You're tired of manifesting. You're tired of manifesting the same patterns to your relationships. And one of the ways that you know that this is probably the right course for you, if you said yes to anything I've just described, this is a course you absolutely need. Moss, this course has a very special place in Moss's heart because he learned so much about himself in this process. The problem that we have is a lot of us go through the world thinking we have a type, and we do actually. We have a type that we're conscious of and a type that we're not conscious of. Soulmate Secrets is all about understanding what truly fulfills you in life and in the ideal partner. It explodes the myths that many people have about soulmates, twin flames, soul groups. If you've ever heard any of those terms, depending on what tradition you're pulling from, they mean different things. Okay, so we're gonna pull back the curtain on all that, and then we're gonna lead you systematically through one process after another that allows you to identify all the sticking points in yourself and all the baggage you have with relationships. We're going to identify and clarify your needs and values and the specific checklists that you have so that you know you're getting what you want. And we're going to start to reprogram your subconscious mind to become magnetic and strategic in attracting those kinds of people. Okay, so I like to think of this as spiritual inner game for those seeking their best life filled with love. Okay, and the reason that I say that is because this is all about the templates and the value systems and the techniques necessary to figure out what truly fulfills you based on your past, based on your value system, and becoming less and less needy. So you're going to learn about how to communicate in relationships. You're going to learn about love languages. You're going to learn about attachment styles. You're going to learn about how to put all of these things into a profile that represents you and your ideal partner. And so that when you go to, dating applications and things like that, you now have a very, very clearly defined set of parameters for what you need to be happy, satisfied, and fulfilled in a relationship. Now, I said a relationship. Right? I didn't say a one-night stand. Although, remember this, it's important, very controversial, but still true. All long-term relationships started as short-term relationships. All short-term relationships started off as a date. Right? So there's a process that we have to go through. But if you're tired of dating the same people who exhibit the same behaviors over and over again that leave you frustrated, feeling abused, beat up, unfulfilled, unrecognized, unseen, unheard, this is a course that I highly, highly recommend, because not only will it tell you about yourself and your ideal partner, it will give you the exact information that you need to know where to look. It's a $1,997 value. If anybody has been through the Soulmate Secrets and you want to add something in the chat that won't distract people, by all means, tell them your experience with this stuff. Okay, it's a $1,997 value. We're going to give this to you free, right? Because this is all about manifesting, and when it comes to manifesting, it's all about money and love, and health. Pretty much everything distills down to one of those, right? Total value on this is $11,485. Now, what's really cool is this is going to give you what I like to call the inner game of manifestation, for specifically where love and attraction are concerned. Okay. So let's review what the big package is, so you can decide to click the link and get yours right now. Okay. We're going to give you the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultra Manifestation Mastery Home Study course, valued at $1,997. We're going to bonus in absolutely free the Vibrational Influence United Kingdom Special Edition 5-day Vibrational Influence Home Study course, $2,497 value. We're going to bonus you absolutely free the Vibrational Healing 2021 program, valued at $2,497. We're going to give you the Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course, valued at $2,497. And for those of you who are looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in too many faces, searching for eyes and looking for traces, go ahead. We're going to include that Hidden Law of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, so you know exactly what to manifest and how to do it. It's a $1,997 value. Total value on this, if you were to buy them individually on the website today, is $11,485. But we're not going to stop there. Okay? Today, I want you to get the best deal humanly possible. It's January. It's time for those New Year's resolutions. It's time to make 2025 best year ever. It's time to reinvent yourself and get on the fast track to getting everything you want. And the answer, part 2, is yes, there is a money-back guarantee. So you're not going to have to pay $11,485. We're not going to, if I took $2,000 off, would that be cool? Well, I'm not going to do that. Right? Oops. There we go. How about if I dropped another $3,000 off? Now we're if I took a total of $5,000 off this package, would it be a good deal? It's a big savings, right? What if I took $7,000 off? Would that be a good deal to get all of this for $4,497? Okay, cool. So what if I dropped it down to $2,497? Would that be a good deal? Well, you know what? Let's cut to the chase. As they say in the military, bluff it for me. For those of you who are ready to make a change, who are ready to take action, who are ready to embody and become the person who deserves to have the things they want, this course isn't for everybody, guys. It's only for the people who are tired of what they've been doing, who want to move forward and be the best version of themselves, to live the life of love, happiness, success, fulfillment they truly want and deserve. You can get it all for one low installment of just $797. All you've got to do now is go to this website, www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Oh, sorry. Oops. That didn't work. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. I jumped out of my PowerPoint. I got to adjust the mouse setting on this thing so I'm not jumping all over the place. Okay. So once again, go to nlppower.com/HLOA. Click that link right now, because I'm actually got some other things I want to talk to you about. And I want you to go ahead and get this out of the way. So go ahead and click that link, www.nlppower.com/HLOA. So the question was asked, is there a money-back guarantee? Well, as a matter of fact, there is. After you click the link and you've got access to your program, I'm going to give you 60 days to pressure test this puppy. Dive as far down the rabbit hole as you can. I'm going to recommend you start with Secrets of Personality Transformation, then go to Hidden Laws, and then work with Vibe UK, and then Vibe Healing. That would be the optimal order I think you should progress. But you can start with Hidden Laws and just work through the sequence you saw. Test this out for a full 60 days. If after 60 days, you're not on the fast track to manifesting more money and finding the love that you want and attracting more success by your standards and your definitions, right? If you're not on the fast track to manifesting the life of your dream, feeling more secure, confident, and powerful, if you're not making more wins and enjoying more of what you truly want in life, I will refund every dime you've invested in this program. Okay? And if you want to pay more, Clowny, I'm okay with that. But you only got to pay, you only need to invest $797 today. Pressure test it, put it through its paces, follow the instructions. Nancy's in. Well, awesome. And if within that 60-day period, if you call us, let us know you're having trouble, and we'll help you through it. If after 60 days it's still not working for you, I'll refund every cent you invested. Why? Because I don't want you to risk anything, right? But you've got to invest in yourself. This isn't about me. I'm here for you guys. These things have changed the course of my life. They have healed people I love. They have saved the lives of countless other people who've had terminal and chronic illnesses, not just from me, but from people who learned these techniques and applied them. Okay. So just click this link right here. Go to www.nlppower.com/HLOA. And if you have questions, reach out to Moss or Mia, and they will be happy to answer any questions that you have. Now, if you happen to have been purchased some of our products or webinar offers in the past, and you have some of these courses already, call or email Moss and Mia, let them know, and we'll let you substitute a program of equal or lesser value so you can have a package that's customized to you without having to duplicate or buy duplicates of stuff you've already got, right? And it's really easy. All you got to do is reach out to us and let us know. So again, this is all good until 11:59 p.m. tonight, January 16th, 2025. Now I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I'm one of the best hypnotists in the world. I know I'm ranked as the #1 NLP trainer, but one of the reasons I'm so good at NLP is because I'm an amazing fucking hypnotist. And here's one of the things I learned many, many years ago. Something you should write down. The behavior that gets rewarded gets repeated. The behavior that gets repeated gets reinforced. And so I want you guys to be the naturally lucky people in the world. I want you to be the ones who attract more success, wealth, and abundance. You know, the Special Air Service in the United Kingdom has a saying: "He who dares wins." It means he who goes for it wins. So for those of you who click that link right now, who are ready to go for it, I'm going to include these special fast action bonuses just for you, just to say thank you for stepping up and doing the thing that is in your own best interest. I'm going to give you a 3-month trial membership to our NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group. This is a program I've been running for over almost 14 years now. We started in October of 2010, okay? And we've been running it every month since then, okay? We videotaped all of those trainings, and it covers everything from law of attraction to trauma resolution, dating, manifestation, marketing, psychic skills, energy development, NLP, hypnotherapy, you name it, we teach it. If it's something you want to know about, if it's something you want to practice, this is your chance to do it. And that's exactly what we created this program for. This is not something that's going to give you a certificate. This is for people who have a very specific set of skills that they want to drill down on and get really, really good at. And we're going to give you 3 months to come in and drill down on the exact processes that you want to have. So I'm going to jump out of my video. I'm going to jump out of my PowerPoint really quick just to look you guys in the face. So one of the things I love about the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program and the way we do it, we meet on the second or third Saturday of every month. People Zoom in personally, or they show up at our location when we open the house. And I literally go around and I say, Seth, what do you want to learn? Liam, what do you want to learn? Do, what do you want to learn? Joseph, what do you want to learn? Clowny, what do you want to learn? Right? and I write deeper, what do you want to learn? And I write the things they want to learn on the board. And I look at what they've written down, and I see where they all cross and interconnect. And I use that and I create a lesson plan on the spot that's going to check all those boxes. And for the next 4 to 6 hours, we just drill and drill and drill and go through training after training after training so that you can do these skills effectively for yourself, by yourself. You can go out into the world and apply your skills directly. Okay. You won't get a certificate from the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. What you will do is get something far more important and far more valuable. You will get practice. You will get feedback. You will get the opportunity to hone and develop and master your skills on a practical, functional level. And you'll get to be surrounded by a community that wants the same things you want, that supports you and is there for you and helps to encourage and inspire you to become the person you truly want to be. I love the community that we've created. And if you want to manifest, one of the most powerful things you need to understand is that you will manifest things in accordance with the people you surround yourself with. So if you surround yourself with people who are on the fast track to becoming the best versions of themselves, guess what happens to you? You're not, a person can be strong, but they're not stronger than the community they surround themselves with. You have to intentionally take charge of that. And the Mastermind Mentoring Program, Planet David, our YouTube family, that's how you do it. Okay, tremendous, tremendous value in that. Plus, we videotaped every single training we've done since 2010. And as a member of the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, you get complete access to that entire video archive. Hundreds of hours of video that we've never released on YouTube, never released in a product, haven't released in an ebook. Okay, because it's member driven. Every class is different and it's not linear. So you got to understand it. It's a group driven process. It's what you want to learn, and I'm teaching it to you, right? So you can binge watch stuff that's never seen the light of day on YouTube, where I pull back the curtain on things that I only reserve for my high level students, things of that nature. And so that's what it's about. It's a $1,597 value. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. You get to try it out for 90 days. If after 90 days you love the people, you love what you're learning, you want to keep drilling down and building on the skill sets you've got, we'll show you how to extend your membership. If after 90 days you decide, you know what, I got what I needed, I think I'm good, no harm, no foul, we'll remove you from the program. You go off into the world, and when you need us, you know where to find us, right? It's that simple, right? We do this because one of the big things I see, I taught hypnosis and NLP for free for 10 years before I was ever willing to certify another human being. The reason I wasn't willing to certify another human being was because I was teaching for free, and I saw the product of every other hypnosis and NLP certifying organization in the world at that time. And what I discovered was kind of disappointing, is that most of the people who were going to these trainings, they were coming out certified and unable to do anything. And I made it my life's mission to make sure that I was only going to give people skills that they could actually apply. And that's why this program came about, to make sure that people who learn our materials, either by proxy or in person, have a place to go to amplify and build and collaborate and just get better, to build the life they want the way that they want. It's one of the most gratifying things I've ever done. I'm proud of it, and I want you to be part of that family. So if being surrounded by a community of people that love you and support you and want to help you become the best version of yourself, you're looking for a place to practice and get feedback from me, my advanced students, stuff like that, I highly encourage you to go ahead and click that link right now so you can be one of the next few people to get access to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. It's a $1,597 value. We're going to give this to you. We're going to bundle it with your system free, just because we want to make sure you have all the tools that you need. Total combined value on this is $13,082, but we're not done yet. Okay, click that link right now. And we're also going to include the other side of the Soulmate Secrets equation. Okay, in Soulmate Secrets, we taught you about all the inner game things you need to know and understand. How to know what your values are for life, what your values are for a mate, what the qualities, characteristics, and behaviors a person needs to generate to give you the most fulfilling experience with a partner. Attraction Mastery is the other side of that coin. It's a co-ed program taught to men and women that teaches you the physical techniques necessary to identify, meet, attract, and create a relationship of ever-increasing attraction, connection, and fulfillment with the people of your choice. It's going to teach you how to approach, how to signal approachability, how to overcome your fear of being approached, how to profile people so you know if they're people who are on the narcissistic spectrum, who are going to tell you things you don't want to hear, or tell you things you want to hear so that you'll give them the things that they want from you. We're going to teach you how to open people up, how to meet people and build lasting connections with people that border on love in as little as 20 minutes. Okay, everything in here is proven. We have the science that validates it. We have the field experience that supports it. Men and women both want the same things. The problem is they want them in a different order, and they use different words to describe them. And if you don't understand what the body language and the meanings connected to those body language cues is being generated by the other side, you're going to continually mistranslate what you think is happening. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you the hidden language of attraction, dating, mating, and relating that men and women use, and why they using your own perspective to interpret other people's behaviors is a recipe for failure. so that you can speak your partner's language in a way that they recognize what you're trying to communicate. Okay. We'll teach you step by step how to go from complete stranger to deep level emotional intimacy and the physical body language cues that let you know when you're progressing to the stages where physical intimacy now becomes practically inevitable. Okay. It's a very complete system. It was designed to give you the real world tactical communication, attraction, and skills necessary to create relationships and manage them. But it presupposes you actually know what you want and what you're looking for, which is what soulmate secrets, this is the bonus I talked about earlier, is really all about. So when you have attraction mastery and soulmate secrets, you have both sides of that equation. You have the way to figure out exactly what's going to be the most fulfilling for you. And then you have the exact tools and techniques and tactics that allow you to actually meet those people, generate attraction, and move people through the attraction and escalation process. Okay. This is what we got for you. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you free as part of your second fast action bonus. Okay. Total value on this, if you did the math, is $18,706, but we're not done. We got one more super bonus we're going to share with you. And this is the one that I think is really cool. This is our 3-day virtual healing retreat. This is an online VIP ticket where you and a small group of people are going to get in a Zoom room with me. And for 3 days, I'm going to run you through healing process after healing process after healing process. I'm going to teach you the transformational triad. I'm going to teach you how to create bucket lists so you can systematically remove all the blocks to your success, all the limiting beliefs, all the traumas that you've accumulated. We're going to show you how to, and you're not going to have to do it yourself. That's the best part. I'm going to be doing it with you. I'm going to be guiding you as your teacher, your therapist, your coach through this process. This is not a certification class. This is you and me in a room fixing your shit for 3 solid days. Okay. We're going to teach you how to eliminate self-sabotage. We're going to teach you how to heal your physical and emotional pain. We're going to remove blocks to your success and limiting beliefs. We're going to clear up and resolve issues from the past that go away and come back. Okay. We're going to change that negative voice in your head so that it builds you up instead of tears you down. Okay. We're going to resolve negativity from your past, get in touch with your true self, explore all of your needs and values and desires. You're going to come out, you're going to go into this class or into this program one way, and you're going to come out, you're going to come in a caterpillar, you're going to go out a butterfly. You're going to burn up and rise from the ashes like a phoenix. This is me pulling out all the stops. You see, one of the challenges that we have is that when I'm teaching people to be practitioners, I have to teach them a version of my techniques that they can replicate, that are very powerful, that they can do anywhere, anytime, any place. This class, I don't have to limit myself to the basics. I can just unload all of my healing skills on you for your benefit, guide you through process after process after process, so that we get the biggest amount of transformation in the shortest amount of time possible. Total package value on this is $2,497. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bonus this to you 100% free because I want to help you clear up the shit you didn't even know you had. You don't even have to do it yourself anymore. Grab your, click the link, grab your ticket. It's for the next 15 people only, because I have to limit how many people I can work with to make sure you all get the attention you need, right? Click that link right now, sign up for, get your VIP ticket, and I'll help you fast track your success. It's a $13,572 in total value, okay? So let's just review what we've got. Click that link right now, and you're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultra Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course valued at $1,997. You're going to get this, the Vibrational Influence United Kingdom Special Edition Energy and Hermetic Skills Training, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. You're going to get the Vibrational Healing Home Study Course. It's an amazing program. It's $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Secrets of Personality Transformation, Integrative Hypnotherapy and Energetics Home Study Course. valued at $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, valued at $1,997 value. We're going to give that to you free too. Now, little note about the fast action bonuses. The fast action bonuses are only good while I'm on tonight's webinar. In other words, when I log off the webinar, all these bonuses when I log off tonight's webinar, these go away. You can, if you click the link before 11:59 p.m., you can get these, but you can only get these if you click that link right now while I'm on the webinar. When I log off, this goes away. Okay? I just want to be very transparent about that. There's a reason that we call it fast action bonuses. Okay? Total value on this, new year, new life, 2025. You can get it all for one low investment of $797. For those of you who might be struggling a little bit or who need a little help, you can also break that down into 3 easy installments of just $397 each. Okay? All you got to do to get yours right now is click that link in your chat right there, www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Click the link right now before it goes away, www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Okay? Let me go ahead and close that. And I'm going to erase my little circly thingies here. There's an eraser somewhere. There we go. I hate leaving marks on my PowerPoint. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes, or actually we're going to give you guys 7 or 8 minutes to go ahead and finalize your order, clicking those links. When we come back, we're going to go into how to find the blocks to your success you didn't know you had and how to remove them. That's where we're going next. So I will see you at 6:15 with bells on. In the meantime, click those links, get your programs, and let's make 2025 your best year ever. Let's reinvent ourselves in a way that just gets better with each passing day, week, and month. I'm excited for you guys. I can't wait to work with you. Go ahead and click those links right now. I'll see you in 7 minutes. Okay, I'm back from my break a few minutes early. If you guys got any questions, I'm happy to answer. Type it in the chat really quick, and I'll answer what we can before we move on to the next part of our training. Right? Like I said, there's everything we're doing comes with a no risk 60-day guarantee. If you start applying these things and they're not transforming you or changing the way you want, give it 60 days. We'll refund your money. You got nothing to lose, guys. Right? These transformation packages have never been this low ever, and I'm doing it because it's New Year's, right? Veterans, if there's people asking questions, go ahead and answer their questions. Betty Ann says, thanks, all signed up. Welcome aboard, Betty. And I saw Nancy joined already. Edie says, how to break fight or flight. Posture and breathing. That's the first way to do it. One of the things you need to understand when your body goes, let me jump out of this really quick. Edie's asking a very interesting question. How do you break fight or flight? First and foremost, you have to recognize you're going into it. Okay. The problem that we have with a lot of our emotional states is that we don't realize we've had it until we're in it. So when you realize that your state is shifting, that's your window right then and there. Now, there's two aspects to state control that you'll learn about, especially if you come to Killer Influence, which is in next week. You've been in it for more than a decade, then it's okay. So are we dealing with some form of CPTSD, Edie, or are we dealing with? Are you in an environment that's not safe for you? Okay. So then what you're going to do is if in your program, you're going to want to start working with the transformational triad. You're probably going to want to either call us at the office or focus on what we call the safe place induction in the Secrets of Personality Transformation program. One of the problems that we have with people in a constant state of fight or flight, which is usually connected to PTSD, is a lot of vagus nerve stimulation. The vagus nerve is literally stuck. And so we can neutralize a lot of that. Okay. But if you have to do it functionally out in the field, the fastest way to do it is posture and breathing. So when we teach state control, we divide it into two big categories. You have what you do with your body and what you do with your mind. And a lot of people, when they teach about state control, a lot of the methods that they're trying to teach you to manage your state are cognitive. So for example, in classical NLP, people start talking about state control. The first two things that pop up when we talk about state control is anchoring and swish patterns. Swish patterns where you take a picture of something that's bothering you and a picture of something that you want instead, and you keep swishing them back and forth until anytime the bad picture comes up, it's immediately replaced by the good picture, and that's supposed to change your state. Well, here's the problem with that. What if you don't realize you need to change it before you're in the situation? Right? What if you're suddenly taken by surprise? What if you're attacked? Right? You don't have time to swish shit. The other thing you need to understand, and why that functionally isn't the best approach, is because the more fight or flight you experience, the more neurological arousal you're carrying, the more your cognitive faculties and access to your cognitive faculties shut down. Right? So we teach state control a very different way because we have to teach you what to do with your body and your breathing together before you can start to work with your mind. Literally, like one of my more colorful mentors used to say, when the fecal matter hits the rotating oscillator, your butt puckers up and your brains drop out. So you have to change posture, you have to change breathing, right? In other trainings and other webinars, I've guided you guys through some of our physiological state control training exercises where you literally assume the posture of happiness or confidence, and then you hold that posture while trying to consciously be sad or consciously be afraid, and you can't do it. Why? Because your physiology controls your psychology. For every psycho-emotional state a human being can experience, there's a corresponding posture or breathing pattern that allows that state to be facilitated. If you can intentionally take control of the biggest piece, which is your physiology and your breathing, then your body can't go fully into that state or access it at all. And if you hold that posture and breathing long enough, you'll gain access to your cognitive abilities. But it doesn't work the other way. If I'm in an environment that is neurologically arousing, I can't access my cognition to change my physiology. It doesn't generalize both ways. So in many cases where somebody's doing fight or flight or having an anxiety attack or something like that, we have to physiologically break that state. The way that you do that is through posture and breathing work. That's why I referenced Dr. Amy Cuddy's work, because she did a lot of the science that supports the things. We've been doing a lot more advanced stuff than she talks about in her research, but she actually did the science. I've just been going by what it does to people in the field. Okay. So Vince is saying fight or flight, rhomboids, rhomboids. I don't know what that means. Oh, rhomboids can also help you take a full breath as intended. Yeah. So G. Wilson is asking, David, in the spirit of the new year, how would you apply identity by design to get into really great shape? From the perspective of somebody who already learned identity. Oh, okay. First of all, go into your gray room, remove all the reasons you have for not working out, all the limiting beliefs and internal dialogue that you have for not doing it. Remove all the specialized negativity connected to going and training. Create pictures for all the good things that training is going to do for you. Don't focus on the task itself, but the rewards. Color breathe that. Put that into your pillars of power. From there, go in and change the dialogue in your head so that it's constantly telling you about all the amazing things you're going to experience as a byproduct of doing the training. Clean up all the negativity from your past, drain the energy out of those negative memories, transfer them over into the positive memories, put your positive memories back in your timeline, cycle through them, install them through the womb of eternity practice, and then take the people who, in the context of working out and being physically adept and athletically fit, you admire, put them in your magic circle and do deep trance identification on them. And then use your transformational triad to color breathe and build up the desire to train and practice and enjoy it. That's the whole 7-stage sequence. So everything I'm saying I learned from you, David, where you talk about raising your arms active. Yeah. Actually, one of the things you can do is if you just hold your arms out and you pull your shoulder blades together, you'll feel your arms move. That's actually one of the ways that we learn to punch harder in Systema. Is it telling you the good things it's going to do for you from the voice of authority? Yes. But it's actually kind of layered in there through each stage of the identity by design silo. Okay. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about with the identity by design silo, you'll learn it in your Secrets of Personality Transformation bonus package. The whole silo is in there. And you'll learn how to do the entire practice in under 7.5 minutes. Right? Take you longer to learn it, but once you know it, you can do the whole thing soup to nuts in 7.5 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Working with your rhomboids is actually a really important exercise. Thank you for that, Vince. So anyway, you guys ready to learn some more stuff or not? Yes or yes, as T. Harv Eker would say. Okay. Edie, did what I say help you regarding the PTSD and fight or flight stuff? Okay. Again, posture and breathing, safe place induction. If you have identity by design, you should have, and killer influence, you should have the state control drills, and you should have you have IBD? Good. Okay, so then you have color breathing and you have safe place induction. All you really need is the transformational triad. If you can point to where you feel it, turn it into color, spin it the opposite direction, you should be good. Okay. If you need help, call the office, let us know, we'll walk you through it. All right, so let's talk about one of the big things I opened today's training with is that you have two sets of beliefs. Beliefs you know about and beliefs you don't. You have two kinds of thoughts. Thoughts you know about and thoughts you don't. You have two kinds of feelings. Feelings you are aware of and you know about, and feelings you don't. Now, what's amazingly cool about beliefs and feelings and thoughts is that they're all made of the same stuff. Let me say that again. The cool thing about thoughts and feelings and beliefs is that they're all made from the same stuff, usually the same way. Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, I'm going to go to my my OneNote here really quick, and pardon me while I look for this. Receptive. Actually, I want identity. I think I want identity for this. Oh, here it is. Okay. I got this mouse wheel I have is I got this super hair trigger. You guys getting a lot out of tonight? Are you learning stuff? Is this helpful? If it's not helpful, let me know because I'll make something else up. All right. So let's go over here and look at this. So we talked about identity as one of the most important aspects of success. Who are you? What's your self-concept, your life experiences, your self-esteem? Your self-esteem goes to what you deserve. Your self-concept is about who you came here to be, right? Are you a victim? Are you a warrior? Are you a winner? Are you a loser? You know, are you a fat person? Are you a smoker? These are all self-concepts, right? And we need to really have a self-concept that supports the person we want to be so we can have the life we want to live. Okay. But your thoughts, your ideas, your memories, your fantasies, your traumas, and ultimately your beliefs, what do they have in common? They're all subjective experiences. What does that, and so what does that mean? Well, what is NLP? It's the study of subjective human experience. Now, all of these are built from the same stuff, the same way. We call this the primary encoding system. Primary encoding system. So if I often, every now and then I play trick questions on my audience and I'll ask them the question, what are thoughts made out of? And I get all kinds of really interesting answers, right? Some people will say, well, thoughts are energy. Well, let me make that a little bigger. Thoughts are energy, right? Or some people will say, well, no, thoughts are chemicals, right? Or electricity, you know. Some say vibration. And they're all, those things are all true, except that they're wrong. And the secret to what I'm saying is when I say functionally, I need to reset the default settings on this. Functionally, what are thoughts made of? Or maybe made from, right? And the answer is very simple. Functionally, the core building blocks are visuals. No, I'm just going to do it here. No, I'm not going to do it here. I'll do it up here. Hold on a second. Come on. There we go. Auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory. That, my friends, is functionally what your thoughts are made of. When you have a thought, You can only relate to it in terms of what you see, what you hear, what you feel, what you smell, and what you taste on a subjective level. Now, each and every one of these channels of information contributes to the experiences going on inside your head. Well, it's not really inside your head. It seems like in your head, but it's really all throughout your body. Okay. So when I talk about the primary, this is a David term. You won't find this in an NLP class. This is David's term, right? This is what your thoughts are made of. And the beautiful thing is that your thoughts are made this way. Your ideas are made this way. Your memories are made this way. Your fantasies are made this way. All of your traumas are made this way. And so are your beliefs. So when we look at this, I can change a belief by changing this. Now, how do we do that? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's kind of where we're going next. Now, we're not necessarily going to focus specifically on beliefs, but what we are going to look at is how do we start to work in this primary encoding system so that we can start to use our autonomic nervous system and our central nervous systems more effectively to get the things we want. How do we create a platform inside of us that allows us to manifest things? Okay. So let me go ahead. And so before we go any further, we look at beliefs. Even though your beliefs are all made from the same stuff, they're also organized in a hierarchy. The beliefs at the top of the pyramid influence the beliefs at the bottom. But the beliefs at the bottom are made from the same stuff as the beliefs at the top. They just have a different hierarchy. But the more I can work up here, the more these things are handled automatically. Now, sometimes what happens is we have what NLP likes to call a confusion of logical levels. Okay. And this can work positively or negatively. Let me jump out of this. So really quick, how many of you, when I was talking about luck at the beginning of tonight's training, how many of you self-identified as being lucky? How many? Just by show of hands, how many of you self-identified as being lucky? If you didn't, it's okay. If you go through the book, if you grab the package that I've just shown you, you'll wind up being lucky. But some of you said, I'm lucky. You self-identified. Guess what? That's a confusion of logical levels in a positive way. What does that mean? Well, let's think about it. The 6 characteristics of lucky people, or 5 characteristics of lucky people, they self-identify as being lucky, right? They take action. They are proactive in their action, in taking action. They are intentionally extroverted. They are kind to themselves. They are specifically vague. Okay, so I'm going to repeat them again. If you want to write them down, you can. They self-identify as being lucky. They're proactive action takers. They get off their ass and do stuff. They're intentionally extroverted, even if they're natural introverts. They are kind to themselves, and they are specifically vague. But here's the thing we need to understand. Those are not things they are. Those are things they do. Think about that for a moment. When I self-identify as being lucky, that's me taking on an identity or proclaiming I am something, right? I'm taking an action, I'm engaging in a behavior. And luck is something they have, right? So the act of self-identifying is not an identity level belief. It's a behavior being processed at an identity level. In other words, let me go back to my chart so you can see what I'm talking about. Everything I said that are the characteristics of lucky people. Hold on a second, I might have to make this bigger so I get more choices with my markers. Okay, so I said self-identifying as lucky is a behavior. Being intentionally proactive, action taking, that's a behavior. Being specifically vague, that's a behavior. Being intentionally extroverted, that's a behavior. All of those are down here, right? Those are things they do. But when a person says, I am lucky, they've taken all the things that happen down at this level and they move it up the hierarchy. And so all of a sudden, all of their beliefs, all of their values, all their capabilities, and the behaviors that go with them change and express itself in the environment. But technically speaking, the phrase, I am lucky, is a confusion of logical levels. We've confused in a positive way something we do with something we are, right? Now, how many therapists do we have in the room, or do we have on the call tonight? Okay, Liam says, yo. All right. So you'll encounter people, especially you'll see this a lot with smokers and people with weight issues, where they'll say, oh, I'm a smoker. I've been smoking all my life, and I need you to make me quit. Well, applying what we just learned, what do we know? Smoking is not something you are. You didn't come out of the womb smoking. You learned to smoke, right? And the fact that you learned to smoke means it's something you're doing, not something you are. So what you've done when someone says, I am a smoker, is they've confused something they do with something they are. So that can work for us or it can work against us, depending on what we're confusing. But it's important to understand this phenomenon, because once you understand it, you can hack it. You can hack it to get rid of negative shit and make it easier to change. Or you can hack it and install positive stuff at a level of your own nervous system that makes it hard to change. So you're just naturally this way by default. Does that make sense? Type yes in the chat if you're kind of following this conversation, at least on a theoretical abstract level, right? Believe me, when you go through the training, a lot of this stuff will get really easy. Okay. Now, you have two sets of beliefs. If I were to go back to this diagram again, oops, oh, I got to annotate it. If I were to draw a line, like right down the middle here, you got beliefs you know about and beliefs you don't, right? So we have to unpack these things. In order for us to find the beliefs that we don't know about, we have to provoke them. How do we provoke them? We do manifestation exercises. We do manifestation exercises. Or we use the somatic search engine. How many people, by a show of hands, have ever heard of this thing called Google? It's on this new contraption called the internet, which I think is just a fad. I don't think it's going to last, so I wouldn't get too attached to it, right? Okay. So Joseph is asking here, how words and color psychology attack you subconsciously and to subconscious. Okay, there's weird stuff going on in my YouTube chat. I have no idea where they're going with those conversations. Anyway, we'll focus on what we can do. So there's two ways we can unpack our limiting beliefs. We can provoke them, which we can do through manifestation, or we can use something called the somatic search engine. So somatic search engine acts a lot like Google. You ever notice that when you go to Google or Yahoo or Mozilla or whatever search engine you're using, have you ever noticed that when you ask a question, the quality of the question determines the quality of the answer? In other words, the answer changes depending on how you ask the question, how you worded it, the order and sequence of wording that you use. Have you ever noticed that? True or false? Yes or yes, as we like to say. Okay. Remember that your nervous system created Google. In other words, not your nervous system specifically, but someone with a nervous system like yours and a bunch of people with nervous systems like yours created search engines. Human beings always create technology that mirrors what we do with our neurology. That's why we call those interfaces intuitive. You ever notice when you start dialoguing with your unconscious mind? Remember the 6 dynamics of an unconscious response? Unconscious mind always answers first, always answers honestly, always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud, it's never linear, right? When we ask our somatic search engine for information, that's how it's going to answer us. But here's the other parameter that you need to understand. It will only give us the information that we ask for it, that we ask it for. There may be other information in that file that it's accessing, but if we don't ask for it, it won't give it to us. Okay? So how does that work? How many of you have ever been in a situation, or you've been around somebody in a situation where something shitty happens, and all of a sudden that person just looks up in the sky with this exasperated, victimized look? Why does this always happen to me? Anybody ever had that experience? Right? Well, guess what? Your nervous system, the search engine of your nervous system, is the most pathologically driven system to answer any question that you give it. In other words, it doesn't matter how badly worded the question is. The moment you ask your nervous system a question, it starts to give you answers. Now, here's the important principle that I want you to understand. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions that you ask. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. If you're one of those people that says, why does this always happen to me? Your unconscious mind, that search engine part of you goes, oh, motherfucker wants a list. Here you go. And now all of a sudden it starts spitting up all the reasons why this shit happens to you. Right? But if you ask a better question, how can I do better next time? How can I make sure we never have this experience again? Boom. All of a sudden, your somatic search engine starts to answer that question for you. For those of you who are on our therapy track, right? For those of you who are on therapy track, for those of you who are going to work and coach people, we have an advanced axiom that we use. If you've ever been to Identity by Design, this will be familiar to you. The answer is in the question. I'm going to repeat that 2 more times. The answer is in the question. Your nervous system can generate any resource that you can conceive of, name, and describe. So once you understand what a person's issue is, if you ask the nervous system the right set of questions, it will generate a solution. It will generate a set of resources that you can intentionally use to create transformation. We're going to do that. Okay. I'm explaining the theory behind some of what I'm doing. You won't recognize some of it. A lot of what I'm talking about, when we start doing the process, you won't recognize it because you'll be focused. If you're doing it right, you'll be focused on other things. And that's okay. But I want you to know that there's a whole set of systems and theories and principles that are being compressed into one very simple, easy set of instructions, mechanical processes. For everything your nervous system creates, your nervous system can change. Every experience that you're carrying around with you, every thought, every memory, every belief, every trauma, every fantasy, every daydream, your system created. And your nervous system accepts it, and your nervous system can change it. That's a truism for every single one of you in this room. Okay? I truly, I'm beyond believing it. I know it. Okay? Okay. Now, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the semantic search engine first. All right. We're going to learn how to find a limiting belief, and we're going to start to transform it. Okay. Now, what you'll find out is that a lot of times your limiting beliefs aren't limiting beliefs because they're beliefs. They're limiting beliefs because they're anchored to a negative experience. And once that experience has been transformed, the belief changes spontaneously. But we have to find it. So we're going to use what we call body-centered energy psychotherapy, the 6 dynamics of an unconscious response, and the semantic search engine to begin to transform things by interacting and dialoguing with our own nervous system. So remember, when you ask the semantic search engine a question, the answer it gives you is going to have 6 parameters that you want to measure against. It's always going to answer whatever pops up first is going to be the right answer. Whatever pops up first is going to be the truth as your neurology perceives it to be. It's going to feel like you're making it up. You're going to have an urge to edit it because you think you're making it up and you need to clarify it. It's never going to be loud. It's always going to be it's going to be quiet or soft, like a whim or a notion in the back of your mind. And many times, depending on what level or you want to interact and trace something back to its source, it's not going to be linear. Many times when I was seeing clients in my office in Solana Beach, people would come in and say, I'm 35 years old. I got divorced when I was 33. And I just can't seem to, it was a really traumatic divorce. I just can't seem to get back into the dating game. I can't seem to get excited about going out and meeting people. And I need your help. Well, in therapy, we have what is commonly referred to as a presenting problem. The problem that walks in the door is almost never the real problem. So this person is coming to me for something that they perceived happened 2 years previously. But when I go into that system and I dialogue with that other part of the nervous system and I say, take me back to the very first scene, situation, or event that is the source, the beginning, the root cause of the XYZ problem you came here to fix today. All of a sudden, they're 3 years old watching their parents argue and fight. And there's a part of their brain that goes, that can't be right. I'm just making it up. I'm here about my divorce, not my parent. When you catch yourself doing that, remember the 6 dynamics of the unconscious response and stop doing that and just take the information as it comes to you. Your unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud. It's never linear. Okay? So are we all clear on that so far? Right. So before we go into the process, I want to go ahead and remind you that the timer is running on this special offer. When I log off, all those fast action bonuses go away. So once again, our special package for today is the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultra Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course 2025. It's going to include the Hidden Laws of Attraction Home Study Course, valued at $1,997. You're going to get the Vibrational Influence United Kingdom Special Edition Home Study Course, valued at $2,497. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. You're going to get Vibrational Healing Home Study Course, valued at $2,497. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. You're going to get the Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course valued at $2,497. Once again, we're going to give it to you for free. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass. This will probably be the last time I actually offer Soulmate Secrets as part of a webinar package. So you might want to go ahead and grab that. $1,997 value, absolutely free. And the fast action bonuses that go away when I log off tonight's webinar, the Attraction Mastery 4-day intensive, which is based on our, by the way, on our Killer Influence home study program. So with all the state control exercises and everything else. So when I talked about that at the beginning of the training, you'll get that state control training as part of the Attraction Mastery. Get $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. You get the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group 3-month trial, valued at $1,597. We're going to give that to you for free. And of course, you're going to get the free VIP super ticket to the Virtual Healing Intensive, February 7th through the 9th, 2025, live from your own living room in my office. Total value on this is $18,706. We're going to take $200 off our regular asking webinar special program. We're going to give it to you for a whopping load volume of $797. Or if you want, you can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $397 each. All you got to do is click the links in your chat. Go to nlppower.com/HLOA. Click those links right now so that we can be clear and move forward. If you have questions, reach out to Moss or Mia. Call 858-282-4663. Folks, if you guys want to go ahead and post the phone numbers in the chat. Okay. And yeah, and we'll go back to this. Okay. So next part of our process, we're going to do something really interesting. Everybody just stand up. It helps if it's best if you stand up to do this. What I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think of something that you really want to manifest. Like on a scale of 0 to 10, it's like a 27. Okay? I want you to think about that thing. But before you do that, I want you to scan your body, and I want you to become aware of the state, the physical feelings in your body right now. Before we do anything, I want you to become aware of the physical state of your body. Okay? And now what I want you to do is I want you to think about that thing you want to manifest. And I want you to create I want you to have a Steven Spielberg moment. I want you to imagine what it might be like to have it. What might you see? What might you hear? What might you smell? What might you taste? Okay. So I'm going to guide you through this kind of like a guided meditation, but there's certain things I'm going to ask you to look for or pay attention to as we do this. Remember, I'm teaching you this as a way to understand how to use that somatic search engine, those 6 dynamics of an unconscious response, how to integrate your 3 bodies, and how to separate and become aware of positive manifestation feelings and sensations and blockages that you didn't know were there. Okay? That's the purpose of this exercise, because you can't fix something you don't know you have. So this is a provocation exercise that will turn into a manifestation practice once you've done the process. Okay? So first thing I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think about that thing you want to manifest, and I want you to make a movie of it. Make it big as a drive-in movie theater screen, crystal clear like an IMAX. Turn up the sounds, the smells, the tastes, the feelings. Best life ever. And as you do that, I want you to become aware of the feelings in your body as you cycle through that movie over and over and over again. I want you to notice where in your body those wonderful, amazing feelings start. Where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, notice where you feel that, and point to it. Now notice that there's a color connected to those feelings. What color or color, don't type this in the chat, what color or colors might that be for you? First impression. Once you've got that, I want you to scan your body one more time as you're cycling through that, and notice any place in your body where you sense an icky, naggy, less than positive feeling. I want you to notice where in your body, if at all, those feelings start and grow from. Point to where you feel it. Notice there's a color connected to that, and notice what colors those are. First impression. And I just want you to become aware of the different locations in the body where your positive feelings are, where the less than positive feelings are. Okay? And I want you, once you know where they are, I want you to draw a little stick figure on your paper, and I want you to circle where the positive feelings are, and I want you to circle where the negative feelings are. And when you've done that, I want you to type done in the chat. Done. Okay, Betty's done. Nancy's done. So how many of you noticed? Now again, I'm getting short on time. So rather than having you experience certain things, I'm just going to front load you and assume you've experienced this. If you experience something different, that's perfectly okay. How many of you noticed that when you were running the movie, there was these very obvious, very noticeable, very tangible, positive, I love this feeling? It's like, it was right there. Anybody notice it was like very, very obvious? It was very loud, right? What were the qualities of the icky, naggy feelings? Were they up front too, or were they more in the background? Were they more subdued or just like kind of looking over? True, not true? Background, Nancy says. Exactly. You see, one of the things that happens is when we're trying to do manifestation work, back was slow, heavy, and bogged down. One of the things that happens when we're doing manifestation work is we're trying to use our will to make something happen. Now, what does that mean? When I'm intentionally doing something, I'm making something happen. There's this feeling of effort, right? But what happens is it's not your will that's the problem. It's the fact that your imagination is accessing certain things. Okay? And so what happens is as we start to imagine things and those naggy feelings come up in the background, right? We start putting more energy into the positive visualization, into the positive movie. True or not true? When you caught yourself, did you catch yourself doing that? You tried to ignore the icky, naggy feelings, right? That's a human thing. Here's the problem with that. The more will that you put into something, the more the unconscious mind recedes. But will equals energy. And energy feeds into both the positive and the negative. Now, the thing we need to understand about those icky, naggy feelings, those are the memories, beliefs, negative values you weren't conscious of. You didn't know they were there until something entered the system that was opposite of it, or that it was inhibiting. You had to provoke the negative feelings in order to find them. Okay? So the way that we find the stuff that holds us back is by going after what we want. Right? But this idea of just ignoring the background stuff, you can't. That's the trap. When you ignore something, we have another word for that. It's called denial. When you try to ignore or deny something, you try to overpower it, you're actually adding more energy to it. So that feeling is actually stronger. And here's the thing you need to understand. That feeling that you think is in the background, that's faint or naggy, it's not that way because it's weak. It has that experience because it's deep. It's deeper in the system. It's deeper in the viscera. It's deeper in the energy body. It's deeper in the spiritual body. It's been there longer. There's a video and a set of principles we have called the hidden laws of mental dynamics. We have this thing known as the law of primacy. Whatever goes in first has the greatest gravity. Whatever is there the longest has the greatest gravity. They're the hardest to change. But the longer they're there, the earlier they're there, the deeper in the system they are. So when they well up, they seem like they're in the background, like they're no big deal, but they're actually stronger than the thing you're consciously working on. So you have to flip the script on your manifestation practice, right? We go after what we want to provoke the things that are holding us back from it. And then we attack the things that are holding us back, and everything else gets easier. So if you followed my instructions, you should have a little stick figure or a little representation of yourself that has spaces marked out where your negative stuff manifested. True, not true? Okay, so now let's get rid of that shit, shall we? Is that okay to get rid of it? Any reason why you might want to keep it? If the answer you got was anything other than a resounding yes, it's okay to get rid of it, we got to fix. Okay, so okay, so you ready? We're running out of time, so this is going to be really, really quick. I recommend that you look up any of our videos on the transformational triad. All the techniques that I've shared with you are somewhere in the coursework that you'll be studying from tonight's webinar on the packages. So once again, I want you to close your eyes, point to that first icky feeling, notice where you feel it and point to it. Look at it with your inner eyes and notice there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those feelings. Note, don't tell me about it, but just notice what color or colors is it for you, first impression. On a scale of 0 to 10, rate the intensity of those feelings. When you've done that, reach into that part of your body, take all that color out and hold it in your hands in front of you. Make sure you get it all, because sometimes that shit hides. Now, for some people, it's like pulling taffy or pulling dandelion weeds, right? Some people say, all done, I don't care. However long it takes you to pull that shit out and hold it in your hands in front of you, go ahead and do that, right? And now, again, I know that we're all separated in time and space, but we're all going to do this together. So however fast or slow you need to go, that's fine. As you look at that color in your hands, did it change or stay the same, first impression? Don't type it, just know it. Now notice it's moving. It's spinning in a certain direction. What direction is it spinning? Now what I want you to do is I want you to physically grab it with both of your hands, and I want you to play with the direction it's moving until you find the direction that gives you the exact thing you want instead. And I want you to spin it like a wheel and double the spin, double the speed, double the force, double the magnitude. Keep doubling it over and over and over again until it takes on a life of its own, until it's impossible for it to go back the way it was. When you know you've got it, send it back into the spot you took it out of. Notice the change. Notice it's gone. Notice as this new program works its way deeper and deeper and deeper into your system, any program, any belief, any memory, any experience that's not in harmony with this new set of instructions, your neurology is going to begin to shed. It's going to begin to purge like a snake shedding its skin, like old software being uninstalled by newer, better, more powerful software. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, it's locked in, impossible to go back, test it. Try to bring those old feelings back. Try to turn those new feelings off and notice what happens instead. Many times, as this new program works its way deeper and deeper and deeper into your system, our body goes through all kinds of interesting changes and manifestations. Some people break out in a sweat. Some people get cold. Some people laugh. Some people yawn. Some people cry. Some people twitch. Some people choke. Some people just feel waves of emotion coming up. However your body does it, it's just your neurology resetting itself. It's just the emotional detox. There's no need to measure it or manage it or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, it's locked in, impossible to go back, test it. Try to bring the old feelings back. Try to turn the new feelings off and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, stop testing, scan your body. Notice how good you feel and tell me what you discovered, what you experienced. Go ahead and type it in the chat. Nancy says, I'm yawning like crazy. Bingo. Perfect. Nancy says she feels lighter. All right. Anybody else? Liam says, you helped me lift a fear. Amen, brother. All right. Aileen says it moved to her throat. So we've got a compound issue. So take that out, spin it, actually, you know what? Go ahead and, Aileen, I know you have these skills. So go ahead and magic frame it and then spin it again and tell me what happens. Do you know what I mean when I say spin it and color, magic frame it and spin it? Okay, good. Dee Deeper says, thank you. I feel powerful yet lighter. Yes, because what you've just done is manifestation and transformation. You've taken an energy pattern in your body that was limiting you and holding you back, and you transformed it into something that empowers you and unlocks your system. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually, now, how many of you have have more than one icky naggy feeling that came up? Dark, D Deeper says, dark colors are so much lighter in shade and almost gone. Perfect. Notice that they're going to melt really quick. A lot of these things, burping a lot, that's, yeah. Don't be surprised when my wife is a burper. Like when she starts to process stuff, she just, bleh, bleh, bleh. Right? It's just how your body does it. Okay. And we can address that too if we need to. But a lot of times what your body's doing is some people will tremor and shake and do all these crazy things, right? Let your body do that. That's how your body gets rid of it. Okay. So if the negative things you marked on your sheet are gone, do this next exercise. If there is anything left, like a separate location or a separate color, do the exercise we just did again on that until it's completely zeroed out and you can't get it back. We're going to magnify and amplify the positive energy. Okay. And it's going to be a very similar process. Right. So I want you to close your eyes, think of that thing that you want to manifest. Okay. Run the movie. Notice where you're in your body, you feel it, point to it. On a scale of 0 to 10, rate the intensity of those feelings. And notice there's a color connected to those feelings. What color or colors is it for you? First impression. Reach in, grab that energy, take it all out. You don't want to miss a drop of this, right? Hold it in your hands in front of you and notice, did the color change or stay the same? First impression. Now, notice it's moving. It's spinning in a certain direction. What direction is it spinning? Now, physically grab it with both of your hands. Find the direction that makes it even stronger. When you find the direction that makes it even stronger, I want you to spin it like a wheel and double the spin, double the speed, double the force, double the magnitude. Keep doubling it over and over and over again until it takes on a life of its own, until it's impossible for it to go back the way it was. Keep spinning it faster, faster, faster. When you know you've got it, it's impossible for it to go back the way it was. Slam it back into the spot you took it out of. Notice the change. Notice it's strong. Notice as this new program works its way deeper and deeper and deeper into your system, any program, any belief, any memory, any experience that was not in harmony with this new set of instructions, your neurology is going to begin to shed. It's going to begin to purge like a snake shedding its skin, like old software being uninstalled by newer, better, more powerful software. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as every part of you required to manifest and embody this new transformation, this new manifestation, this new result begins to come online, synergized, energized, harmonized in the direction of the manifestation you've installed. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to fully and completely install itself. And when you know it's locked in, it's inevitable. All the transformations are lining up. All the resources are in the right place at the right speed and the right time. Test it. Try to go back to the old way of being. Try to turn the new feelings off. Try to bring the old feelings back. And notice what happens instead. Now, many times as we go through this process, our body goes through all kinds of interesting transformations and manifestations. Some people break out into sweat. Some people laugh. Some people yawn. Some people cry. Some people twitch. Some people just feel waves of emotion coming up. However your body does it, it's just your neurology resetting itself. It's just the manifestation and transformation phenomena activating. There's no need to measure it or manage it or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you're satisfied and you know it's done, it's locked in, test it. Try to go back to the old way of being and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, go ahead and stop testing and report to me what you experienced. What did you discover? What did you learn? Liam says, whoa, crazy. Like I just ran a marathon, but came out stronger with better cardio. Does that make sense? My heart is beating so fast. Yes, it makes perfect sense. Because the part of you that manifests is your heart, in case you didn't know that. Your heart is the seat of manifestation. Betty Ann says, tested, made it get brighter. Nancy said, intensity went from 7 to 8. Yay. Is that a good thing? All right. Eileen says, feel lighter and happier. Nancy says, yes. She's laughing. All right. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've come away with some very powerful. Dee Dee says, when I try to think the old way, I laugh. Yep. All right. So last call, as they say, for those fast action bonuses, those of you who want to do this. Hidden Laws of Attraction, home study course valued at $1,997 value. Vibrational Influence United Kingdom, special edition, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. Vibrational Healing, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. Secrets of Personality Transformation, Hidden Laws of Attraction, Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, Fast Action Bonus 1, Attraction Mastery 4-day intensive, Fast Action Bonus 2, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group and Archive, and the free VIP ticket to our upcoming virtual healing intensive, February 9th or 7th through the 9th. Total value on this is $18,706. You can get it for $797 or 3 easy installments of $397 each. It would now be a good time to click that link. If you liked what you got, you want the whole system, go ahead. You get the whole shebang, the full Monty, as we like to say. Operators are standing by. And in the words of the immortal Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just got started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Good night, everybody. Manifest away. I'll see you on the other side. I love you. God bless. Take care.